insert drink, and hit play. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of BlueRayDismay. You have John Daniels here, and today we are doing The Shining in honor and in anticipation of Dr. Sleep. I have my two counterparts with me.
The Right Honorable Javier Ian Marcellus Ignatius II, Esquire.
And Bruno Diaz, a.k.a. Johnny Walker, a.k.a. Johnny C.
Johnny Walker, Johnny C, and our furry friend Jimmy over there. Okay, guys. So if you want, we can just jump right into this since it's a lengthy movie, and we can just talk about it throughout.
Yeah, we're gonna have plenty to discuss.
Okay, let me just jump right into this. So for those of you following along, we do have our Shining Blu-ray inserted. We are currently at the Warner Brothers logo, and we are going to hit play in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so hold on, let's just make sure this thing is playing here. Maybe not. Wait.
Technical difficulties.
All right, here we go. Opening scene. We just got the overshot here in between two mountains and over some kind of lake or something. So it's
Colorado.
very first scene. The funny thing about this Blu-ray is that there's no like. It just immediately, as soon as you. What is
that? Was
inhale, exhale.
That was accident.
Yeah. So you can smoke while watching this, but
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, if you're watching this on Blu-ray, it should take up the entire frame of the television. If you're watching it on DVD, depending on the version, you may have black bars, either left and right or top and bottom, depending on how they presented it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Kubrick filmed it using the entire frame of 35mm film, but he matted it for a widescreen aspect ratio presentation. So depending on which version you get, you'll have different aspect ratios because Kubrick's funky like that.
35J,
So you get
Javier?
He filmed it in 35mm. Yes.
I thought it was always 38.
No.
Oh, 35?
Yeah.
Just it usually doubles. It's 8, 16, 35, and then 70mm. Or 65 if you're CinemaScope.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, aspect ratios aside, you may be getting one of 6 different versions. They're all more or less as he filmed them, but he pretty much wanted it to be seen.
He's got Bumblebee.
Yeah, he's got
Bumblebee. They're driving the old school Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah.
But the
yellow.
Intentional presentation was for widescreen viewing in a cinema.
Yeah.
So it's as close as we're going to get.
Naturally.
Widescreen TV.
These opening credits are funny.
The
They're
kid,
like
right?
Yeah.
super fast.
Scatman.
Scatman. There's a guy.
What's his name?
His
Holloway?
real name is actually Scatman.
Scatman.
Like that's his first name. That's pretty cool.
And his music's awesome. Just right off the bat, you're like,
Yeah.
what?
You can pull up the background a bit.
Wah, wah.
John Daniels there.
Hmm?
Get a little bit of the background going.
What? Turn it up.
Amplify the background a bit, just for the benefit of us. You guys should be hearing it fine at home.
Yeah. Bum, bum.
So
it's like you're going to Dracula's castle or something.
Pretty
this,
funny. Based upon the novel by Stephen King.
more or less. Almost as
But yeah,
much as-
so full spoilers ahead.
Oh yeah,
Gonna
spoiler
be jumping
alert.
around
This
between the
movie came out in
Spoilers ahead.
1980, so if it's taking you 3 decades to watch this, kill yourself.
No.
And yeah, spoiler alert, just everyone.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, like we'll be jumping around, like
Spoilers incoming.
talking about like the ending and the beginning and just all around the movie.
But that whole opening we saw was filmed in from a helicopter, and it was actually filmed in Montana.
Mm.
And this hotel,
The Overlook.
the Overlook Hotel, is actually the
Okay, the interview. We just got the caption, the interview.
Yeah.
Timberline Lodge.
And enter Jack
near
Nicholson.
Mount Hood.
And so there is no other.
He's walking into the lobby.
Is there
right now.
other intros like that with text to different parts of the movie, or is it just that one?
No, it keeps going.
No,
like
in
that
between
throughout.
certain shots, yeah, it'll say like the month, I think, or like,
Oh, it'll say the day.
like
yeah,
the next
yeah.
phase or the
It'll
next.
say the month, a month later.
If
or
you
something
notice, it
like
gets complete. It gets more and more compressed. It starts with a month, then it goes to Thursday, then it goes
Then
to
days,
8 a.m.,
yeah.
then 4 p.m.
that. Yeah.
So the scale keeps compressing and compressing as you watch the movie goes more and more off the rails.
Yeah.
Dude, look at that 80s tie.
More like late 70s. That thing has got to be 4 inches wide.
Yeah, I know that is like a late stuff. Even though the film was released in 1980,
It was
this
Yeah.
really looks like 70s get up.
It
For
was filmed
some-
in 79. I mean,
Yeah. For some reason, I thought this movie came out like way earlier. I thought it was like late 60s, mid 70s or something. For some reason, I don't know why.
it's just the old-fashioned age of everything. If you look at everything on this,
Yeah.
there's a no.
But I was like,
computers in
I was
sight.
like 80. I was like, wow. It's like it's not that. It makes sense more than not.
It's so funny how informal the interview process was back then. You just walk right into the boss's office, and the boss sends the secretary to go get coffee or whatever.
Yeah, what up?
Okay, enter Wendy and Danny. Danny is actually his name is actually Daniel in the his real name.
Yeah. Same thing with Jack too. He's just Jack.
Oh right, Jack and Jack.
It's only Shelley Duvall that gets her name changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shelley Duvall. Okay, let's get into some of her stuff. I mean, honestly, the only other big thing that I even was able to find anything on her was she plays Olive Oil in Popeye.
In Popeye, yeah.
And she
With
was
Robin
also
Williams. I like that movie.
she's also in
Or I did as a kid.
the Twilight Zone series from the 80s, not the original from I think it was the 60s or late 50s.
And there's Danny talking to
Now Danny.
immediately talking to Tony, his
Danny-
imaginary friend here.
Oh yeah. Now this kid Danny, I think this is like was his breakout role and pretty much his only significant role. I don't think there was anything else that he really
Yeah, real good time with that.
did.
Yeah, he didn't really go on to do much else. I
Okay, now
think
we're back to
some
the
TV
interview
movies or
scene.
something, and then
Yeah, it's kind
and
of
then
like
just and just fell off after that.
kind of like say what's his name, the kid from Star Wars didn't really have much of a career after that,
Yeah,
and then
Anakin? Wait, I thought he became like a crackhead and was like
I think
went
he might have.
nuts.
I think he died.
Like in real life. Did he die?
I think so.
Oh.
and then the kid in
Look at his tie. Jeez, it's
Yeah.
like
Dude, look at that tie, that 70s tie.
I
Okay.
don't know about that wool tie.
Okay,
and then
this
Edward
guy,
Furlong, for example, not much happened with him either.
he became like a girlfriend stalker slash beater. This
Who?
interview guy, the interviewer, Ullman,
Uh-huh.
Stuart Ullman. His real name is Barry Nelson, and he was in one of the original Twilight Zones. The episode was Stopover in a Quiet Town.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he was in a couple of other things way back in
Right.
60s and 70s, but
Right.
nothing that anyone would probably know around these times.
So Stop Over in a Quiet Town, is that the one where he's Hitler?
That I don't know. I
Or
can't
the one
remember.
where he was crazy and everyone else is normal? The one when everyone else is normal and he was crazy.
Yeah.
Or wait, did I say that right? Anyway, just this will be important later, class. American flag on the desk.
So yeah, right now he's explaining like why it's secluded, and then they close it down for the
Who's
and all
Ullman's
that.
explaining it?
Yeah, Ullman's explaining during the
yeah.
interview. He's talking to Jack, and like it. Yeah, it is kind of weird. Like the Jack, he just already comes off as like kind of like a
He's already
like a weirdo, like a weirdo, like not a weirdo, but like yeah, a little bit off, like right off the bat, like when he's talking to this guy.
Well,
He's Jack Nicholson.
Well,
like
he's Jack
his
Nicholson,
face just looks
and,
crazy,
and he was
Yeah.
in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
yeah,
Nest. Was
right.
he the crazy guy? Or
and
I
it
don't
was
you
right
know,
before this too. So,
What-
yeah, and they said like that was a little a problem for like audiences because they like
he
couldn't
was
really take
typecast.
this as seriously because it was right after
So he
his
was
other
in-
movie where he was like all crazy. So it's like, oh, the crazy guy's crazy. it's like no big thing, but
So he
and it
was,
does kind of throw it off for me a little bit because when it's supposed to be scary, it almost comes off as like comedic. Yeah, because he's so intense. And like in the situation is so intense, like what's happening, what he's saying. It's like,
Well, the funny thing is, let's get into
but
that.
it's like it just makes me
so
laugh sometimes,
in those scenes,
and
apparently,
because I've seen it so many times too.
Stanley Kubrick is infamous for basically dragging out scene after scene to get the perfect, I guess, portrayal of what he's trying to kind of, show in his film. And in fact, he does it on purpose. I think one of the tactics that he thought or that he referenced was if you make someone do it so many times, they will eventually think outside the box of, okay, let me just try something new and freaky. And I'm so sick of doing this damn scene again that they will act in a different way. And I can't remember in one of these takes, he uses like the 27th take or something. He rarely used, at least in this film, like the very first few takes of whatever the scene was.
Yeah.
Because it was his way of breaking the mold, of getting the character out of their, comfort zone.
And that guy, the other guy sitting in on the interview, he can totally tell he knows what's up. So right now, the steward is explaining to him what happened in the hotel. He's like, so
Stuart
this dude,
Ullman.
last guy that did this job ended up killing his family when he was here. So how about that?
Sorry.
And the other guy's like, just like watching them all kind of weird, side-eyed.
Aside from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jack Nicholson was Colonel Jessup in A Few Good Men, alongside Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, Of course, we all know him from Batman as the Joker in 1989.
Yeah.
He was also Frank Costello in The Departed, the Irish mob movie, and also in Wolf. You guys remember that where he played like a wolf? And he was fighting like another werewolf.
Yeah,
like another human wolf.
Yeah,
I think it was a 90s flick.
Going into the restroom and pissing that other guy's leg.
Is that what he did? Yeah. I barely remember the movie. I think I swear
Let's
I saw
watch
it. Yeah.
And yeah, he's
basically he just told him, yeah, dude chopped up his family with the axe, and he's like, whoa.
Well, that's quite a story.
Yeah. So that's the neat thing about this. It's like sets up this situation where things are not quite normal, but everything so far is just mundane, you know. I mean, because like it or not, it happens where people just kill each other, you know.
I guess.
So far, it's just so far.
But
it's been mundane.
Pretty like. I mean, that's an extreme thing to say to somebody.
Right.
By the way, someone chopped up their family. You're going to be staying in the same room.
And it's such like a business nonchalant manner in the way they are doing. But I think that's part of it. Like,
but I mean, it happens in real life all the time. You think about it. People kill each other in a house somewhere. That house later does get sold on the market, but they typically do explain to the previous buyers that, someone got killed here.
Yeah. It's like it's part of law or something that you have to disclose. Yeah,
dude. As long as they clean up the bloodstains,
it's
part
of. Yeah, I think it's part of law where you have to disclose if there's any like ghost activity in the house or something. Yeah, or somebody's been murdered or something like that.
Dude, poltergeist. Yeah, okay, so now we're at the scene where Danny is talking to himself. When you're selling a house,
you do have to disclose that information or something like that.
Get with the framing here. If you notice the framing, he uses the walls to like focus in on Danny.
Yeah. So Danny's in the bathroom,
and it is
in
like
the kitchen.
The Tony, the force, like
Tony.
Getting stronger towards him.
You notice that again. He does it. He uses walls and barriers to focus.
Dude, look at that TV. It's not even a flat screen.
One character.
Okay, we're at the scene where Jack is phoning Wendy, pretty much giving her the good news, like, "Hey, look, I'm not gonna be around."
All right.
And it's funny too because the music really.
It's still like daunting music.
Yeah, it's like the movie it kind of moves at like a really fast pace because it's immediately like, okay, there's some crazy stuff going on here, like spooky ass music, people getting chopped up, kids talking to himself all weird.
Kids talking to himself. I mean, I would send my kid to like the psych ward if I saw him
Jack
doing
Nicholson
this.
looks insane.
Not that I have a kid, but if I did have a kid.
But we've already noticed very subtly that the child does have psychic powers.
He like
and here's his first flash. Here's his first psychic flash of blood just spewing out of the elevator doors.
Blood usually gets out on the second floor.
Yeah. So yeah, Danny's talking to Tony, his imaginary friend, his so-called imaginary friend, and then he just has all these visions of the hotel and what's happening.
Danny's shocked face there.
Yeah.
Call back to Dr. Bowman's shocked expression when 2001 released Jupiter Beyond the Infinite.
Oh yeah,
Dr. Bowman.
Yeah.
Totally.
What movie is that?
What is it? It's a
2001
nod.
A Space Odyssey.
That's a nod.
2001.
Callback, I guess, because it's the same guy. Yeah.
2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you never seen it?
Maybe.
Of course you have.
I'm just.
Okay, while we're on Space Odyssey, that was the bison.
Yeah, just let that go on.
Look,
express my disgust.
While we're on 2001 Space Odyssey, which is credited for one of Kubrick's fine films, he also did.
I think it's probably his best one.
He also did Eyes Wide Shut, Nicole Kidman, Tom Cruise, Full Metal Jacket. He did Clockwork Orange, which was pretty disturbing.
Yeah.
Barry Lyndon.
He has very disturbing movies.
Yeah,
they're very memorable also, for their
uncredited, but it is well known. He did work for Spartacus.
Oh, nice.
And he also faked the moon landing.
Supposedly. That's what the whole 237.
Supposedly.
The whole 237.
That's what I told
number.
you. The American flag on Stuart Ullman's desk was important. It's a symbol. Jack enters a contract with Ullman.
Oh.
Ullman is the U.S. He's entered a contract with the United States.
So Jack is Stanley.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
he's like, I won't go crazy and make a movie about the fake moon landing and subtly put it in there. The clues are going to
keep coming later on. We'll point them out for you, everyone.
Really? About the conspiracy theory?
So,
God. See, I didn't even get into this. I didn't want to get into this, but if you guys are going to.
While we're on the conspiracy topic.
No, but 237 is like, that's how far it is away from the moon, and that's why
they're 237,000 miles away from the moon, right?
The hotel requested they change the room number because they don't want people to be afraid of it.
Well, that's what they said.
That's what they said, and then he changed it.
The original number was 217,
217 from the book.
It was 217.
Changed it to 237.
The hotel didn't want the 217 room to be
there's a whole movie
and then 237.
You can watch on Netflix or something where there's a whole conspiracy movie where like everything lines up in 237, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm not really buying it, but.
So back to the conspiracy thing. He got a lot of flack, or apparently what happened was with the movie Eyes Wide Shut, he had informed Nicole Kidman, I believe, that pedophiles run Hollywood.
Oh, no.
And she mentioned this in like an interview.
Oh, gosh.
And this was like, I don't know, a decade ago,
Way
2
back
decades
when.
ago. Yeah. And hello, Weinstein. Anybody? Does that ring a bell? Hello. So that was interesting.
Maybe they killed Stanley.
That's a thing. That's one of the things where she's, you know, people are saying, hey, he died too early, even though he was well, and I think he was in his 70s when he died. Rest in peace. But so that was like one of the things, because Eyes Wide Shut was a portrayal of these elite societies, kind of running this totally underground, creepy. Like just having so much influence and power, but just completely underground. Mm-hmm. And that was his like depiction of, hey, there are greater, you know, powers among us, and they're just, you know, we're basically sheep.
And then so this movie is about him going crazy because the government made him do the moon landing. Is that what's going on?
That I don't know. I'll have to ask Javier about that one.
Yeah,
it's coming up there.
Oh, we're at the scene. We're at the scene where Wendy is talking to the psychiatrist, where Jack just got a little drunk and beat the shit out of Danny.
No, he just pulled his arm.
Oh yeah, he dislocated his shoulder. Or
so he says this is years later, and he's like, what, 5 or 6? So he was like 3 or 4 or something.
It's actually one of those rare inconsistencies in the film, because, and this story, she says it was only a few months ago. And then later on, he goes on about how she's been talking to him about it for years.
Oh, that's probably his over-exaggeration being crazy. So it probably was just a couple months ago.
Right.
Yeah, so it was recent.
And then, but he can't.
Yeah, or at least within the year, because he would have to recover from that.
Right. By that point,
so he probably finally recovered
Jack's
months ago.
also starting to get a little wiggy, you can tell.
Yeah.
So he's exaggerating or can't remember it clearly.
And this girl, I love her expression to what she's saying to her. She's like, what?
Oh, when Wendy was like, it was just one of those things.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Oh, he just yanked his arm out.
Yeah. Broke his arm because his papers were on the floor, or toys were on the floor, or something like that.
No, he's messing with his work papers.
Yeah, he's messing with his work papers.
So apparently, according to Stephen King, he got the idea for that because one day his son messed with his work papers. And he really wanted to kill him.
Naturally, yeah.
But he didn't do anything, I think, as extreme as yank his.
Yeah, he just writes a story about fantasizing about ripping his kid's arm.
Yeah. But this is one of those scenes in the movie that
but he's Stephen King, so he can get away with that.
Older than it is, because the doctor made a house call, which doesn't happen anymore.
So Stephen King. So Stephen King, is credited for the horror novel, which was published in 1977.
Yeah, which I haven't read, but I really want to now.
Dude, who reads? It's all about YouTube now. Oh. So I believe there was a drafted script that was pushed or sent towards Stanley Kubrick for this film
after they got
by Stephen King and team or whoever it was. And, you know, Kubrick was like, yeah, get this sack of shit out of my face.
No, he didn't say that.
He didn't even use it.
He had no intention of using it because he was already invested in making
Stephen King was not impressed by his lack of, you know, attention. Like, didn't even really consider, you know, kind of the way either the book was written or even the script, the drafted script. So what happened was
just a little too drunk.
Stephen King, a little too drunk. He's a little too drunk, and he just yanked his arm out of his socket. No,
well, from the way I
wait.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So what happened was Stephen King was not impressed, and in fact, I believe in some of the reviews, he indicated that parts of the film were flat. They didn't really touch on what, you know, I guess his original vision of what he would have thought would have been a movie based off of his novel.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, Stephen King was the executive producer for a 1990s TV movie with The Shining, which was really cool. I actually I watched the first half of that yesterday, and it was freaky.
It was just his way of like going, because he didn't like the adaptation that was out there,
which is
making The Shining the name, like, because that's what people know it, and then like it's a good way of him coming back and like taking back the story.
I think more
and
people
like
have
making
watched
another
the movie.
adaptation. That's why he like did it, because he was like, well, we can do it, you know, might as well, even if it's a TV movie.
Also, keep
but
in
like
mind,
the whole thing, what
when Stephen King makes a movie, you get maximum overdrive.
Yeah, I liked that movie at the time.
I did not see
years
that movie.
ago.
Really? But we should have done that, man.
But
maximum overdrive.
From what I heard, it was Stanley Kubrick, like when he adapts a lot of his movies from books. And like he got a lot, he gets inspiration from books, and then he kind of just like takes that as like a jumping off point to create his own thing, and that's what the whole like the making of this movie is like why because he didn't like reject Stephen King's like script or whatever. He didn't have intention of using it, because he read The Shining, the book, and he was like, well, I can just turn this into a movie. But he really just took it as like inspiration for making a movie, and that's why it's so different. And then even when they're making the movie, it was kind of like working the script. He's like, like the actors talking about how they're like, the script's changing all the time. They're just like working the feeling, the mood, the music, and the like what he's doing and figuring it out at the same time. But it is its own thing. Like it is an adaptation of the book, but it's not really like he just uses it as like a basis to create his own movie,
like
really.
his own work.
Yeah,
well, that's why Stephen King was like, you know what, screw you, I'm gonna make my own TV movie.
Yeah.
Well, to counter that argument, I would like to put forth Exhibit A, A Clockwork Orange, which is more or less faithful to the book.
Yeah.
Even in terms of its disturbing.
But I'm not saying that's not what he doesn't do. But for this one, like that, from what I hear, like that's what he was doing. Is because he wanted to make a horror movie, and then the person that actually did write the script with him on this movie is just someone that he wanted to work with that wrote another horror movie or another horror book that he wrote, which actually I forget her name, but
is it Diane Johnson?
I think the other person that wrote the script with him that wasn't Stephen King. It was another horror author. So that he wanted to work with her to adapt this and do their thing. And he's reading a Playgirl for some weird reason.
That's actually on. You know, Kubrick is like meticulous.
Yeah. So that has to be some kind of weird intentional thing.
The Playgirl magazine here is on purpose, and you don't have Playgirls in hotel movies.
And it's like,
or I'm sorry, in hotels.
Yeah. And it's like right there, just sitting there in a hotel. Yeah.
I didn't notice that until I actually read that. And
I heard about that later.
So writing credits for this film go to, of course, Stanley Kubrick and Diane Johnson, as they produced their own script for this movie, even though Stephen King, I think, had already drafted one. So it's kind of funny. In the Stephen King TV movie compared to this, he kind of jumps right into it. I mean, he just immediately...
Yeah, like, and I think that is because he realizes that there's so much going on with the whole story of The Shining that he immediately just jumps into it, and Stephen it becomes
King, in the 90s version, he like immediately shows that Jack is a wasted drunk.
Yeah.
He immediately shows that the kid has this power.
Way more character
telepathy,
in the 97 one.
It's way more. The character development is like
this one's almost immediate. Like he gets there and he's like, I'm crazy now. And it's kind of but it makes sense because it's a movie. It's just like there's so much to go through, and it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Like it's a long movie already.
It's a long movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably gonna finish.
Appreciate the pacing of the movie just because the descent into madness is a fun process.
And you realize what you're kind of getting into like immediately.
Now you guys are talking about this film.
You're just writing
the Kubrick
it with
film.
everybody.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, the way Jack is portrayed in the book is a bit different too. He's kind of an alcoholic, and you actually kind of a screw up, and this was like one of his last chance jobs.
Yeah.
As a caretaker.
So that's what I was like. I haven't read the book, but like,
because he's been fired from other jobs.
Have you guys read the book?
Dude, I told you, YouTube.
Oh yeah, Jimmy, you've ever read it? Okay, so that's what I was like. I don't want to like. I can't really compare it to that, only based on what I've heard from Stephen King's interviews and stuff like that I've read. But
okay, so now we're at the scene where Ullman is
I don't really want to compare it to that. Just like
is walking Jack and Wendy through to their room.
It is such like a Stanley Kubrick like film, like it is
in the Stephen King movie
it's
where he produced it.
Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Ullman in the Stephen King one, in the 90s one, Ullman hates and despises Jack. And the only reason Jack got the hookup, got the position, was because one of his friends was like on the board, one of like the deciding committee or whatever.
Yeah.
But in this one, Ullman, is super hospitable. Hey, here's this, here's that. Please let me know.
I do like the 97 one because, like, like you were saying, like I watched it when it came out because I always liked this movie, and I always just loved The Shining. And so when the series was airing, I was watching it as it was airing.
Yeah, I think it came out in 97.
Yeah, and I missed the middle part, and I like came back in the end and caught the last couple episodes, which is really cool because it is more faithful to the book from what I've heard. And it does really show
it's
Jack's
also kind of cool.
descent is way more
like advanced, escalated,
believable, and like gradual, and like there's a lot more. And the mom is portrayed a lot better. Stephen King hated the way Shelley Duvall was.
Oh, you
think
the '90s one? You think the '90s version shows his Jack's development as like a little more gradual,
resilient? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, Jack's descent. Yeah.
Okay. I know that for the '90s version,
here. Indian burial ground.
Yeah, ancient Indian burial ground.
Oh, it's like Ullman's telling them.
Yeah. It's like, okay, evil spirits.
Can anyone say
here.
poltergeist?
Yeah. Is that before or after that?
I think poltergeist was after this film.
After.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn it.
Anyway, At this point, the hospitable relation between Jack and Omen is just kind of like the veneer of civility that's going to break down later on. Because everyone was kind of nice and polite at first, even when Wendy's telling the story to the doctor. It's like couched in the nicest possible terms. But the fact is, you can tell that underneath this current, things are going to go wrong. But they're maintaining a nice veneer of civility, which is one of Kubrick's themes.
Oh, yeah, where it's like...
Everyone try to act polite.
It's really clean.
Except it's really, really dirty. Yeah. So things break down.
They definitely, in the 90s version, they use a lot of, obviously because of the 20 years advance in technology, but they have a lot more special effects that in the Stephen King 90s version.
Yeah, to show more.
When compared to this one.
But yeah, I don't know if we want to keep comparing it to the 97 one, because like this is this one. We should focus on this. But I just love it, and I do like the 97 one a lot, and I do need to read the book. And I am excited for the new movie coming out.
Yeah, you guys talk about that TV show. I'll talk about this movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, fun little fact here: this hotel here, this bar, it's been influential in its own right. Just shows you how influential the movie is. If you've ever seen Passengers, the bar on the spaceship is more or less kind of modeled after this bar.
Oh, is that with hold on, what's her name? The blonde actress. Gosh,
Be a little more specific.
There's only one main actress in that film. Passengers, right? It just came out a couple years ago.
Yeah.
What movie is that?
She plays Mystique. Mystique.
Mm.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt.
Oh, that movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's interesting. I went to attend a screening of that movie, and the author was there who wrote the screenplay. And he said he had not intended for the bar on the spaceship to be modeled on that bar from The Shining.
I thought about that. The bartender even looks the same.
Right. But apparently it was designed in production by the producer, the director, art director. It just goes to show you some of the influence this movie has had. It's like, and you're talking about another movie like in a different genre, set off in a different place.
Yeah.
It's like, we need something slightly unsettling, but also very opulent.
Wait, how was it influenced? The producer accidentally, like, it was just complete coincidence that it was modeled that way?
Not coincidence.
The production people
the
probably
author
did
didn't
it.
intend it that way, but the production company decided, for this scene, we need this kind of atmosphere.
It'll be fun to do that, yeah.
We'll mimic that kind of bar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nod.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So 30 plus years later, still
and
influencing the way films look.
And a lot of the iconic.
Again, the narrow zooming in on Danny here. If you notice the framing between the shelves.
Slowly zooming in.
In our discussion of the 90s and all the other thing, I totally missed. I don't think we introduced Scatman Crothers, who plays Halloran. Right, Halloran's this guy that's showing them around the freezer. Right. Okay, right. Scatman Crothers, rest in peace.
Apparently a friend of Jack Nicholson's.
1986, passed away, age 76. He was also in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He was in Twilight Zone, the movie. And I think,
cool.
Is that John Lithgow? He was in there, right? He was the airplane. He was in The Transformers, the movie. He was Jazz. Isn't that funny? And he was also in Transformers: The Return of Optimus Prime, also as Jazz.
Oh, the cartoon.
Wow. Yeah.
Not the movies. The cartoon.
No. Yeah, the movie. Old school. Yeah, the movie that went in the 80s. I was about to say,
how old is one?
80s. Yeah, this guy's like 1,000 years old. No, yeah. So
nice.
I could totally hear him as Jazz, like his raspy little voice. Come on, Optimus.
Get that sweet relish, that treetop.
You hear the Shining in the background.
Shining's going on.
Oh, is that what that noise is? That sharp noise in the background as Halloran is showing the family around all the condiments and all the boxed goods.
And he's like, "Hey, you're shining at me." And he's like, "Yeah, you like ice cream?
You like ice cream, Doc?"
Yeah. How you know we call him Doc? Because it's shining, bitch.
Also, how would you like some ice cream?
Dude, that would freak me out if some guy was asking me about ice cream through like telepathy.
He knows. He's got the shinin.
Taking it in stride there.
He got the shinin.
Also,
apricots.
That was the cash register, by the way.
Yeah.
If you guys want to do revenues, I can do revenues.
Well, in about a minute, because we got to do the title drop's going to happen in a second.
Yeah.
At the 29.47 or 29.50 mark.
Yeah. Also,
speaking of Mark,
one of the other things I was going to say was between the book and the movie was like a lot of the iconic like scary moments or parts that people remember are from the movie. They're not really even in the book, so it's like even more of like
a disconnect.
Kubrick's like
his like adaptation
stamp on the adaptation. Yeah, it's like that he's making.
I think
movie,
a lot more
like,
people have
not
seen
making
the movie
book,
than read the book. Yeah,
yeah, and it, like he didn't even read the script first, so it's like He's just making this movie. He's not really making the book.
So we're at the scene where Ullman is still walking Jack and Wendy through, I guess, the final little areas of the hotel.
Right.
I mean, this is a massive tour. I mean, they haven't even gotten to the middle of the movie yet.
Right.
But yeah, I guess they're wrapping up their final.
I just want to ask at this point if anyone has noticed that nearly every single scene has had some red in it.
Red?
Yeah.
Red rum?
No.
Color red on nearly every single scene.
Everybody's wearing red?
Yeah.
He got red stripe.
Jack's got
Okay, we're at the scene where now Doc is talking
a red square in his shirt.
Halloran, and Halloran's trying to give him the heads up, like, hey, by the way,
that's where he gets stabbed earlier.
Oops,
later.
That's notice that I was talking about. So Halloran's gonna tell him, hey, look, my grandma and me, we were, we could have whole conversations without even opening our mouths.
So apparently Highlanders can immediately sense each other. I mean, Shining.
Highlander.
The Shinings can immediately identify and interact and connect with each other. Know that they have each other or sense each other, that they have the power.
Right.
If they're in the same area. And I would assume that this ancient Indian burial ground where all these crazy things are happening, where this evil force is like calling the Shining people to this area.
Nah, I just think he just happens to wander into it.
Two of them?
Well, yeah.
At the same time?
It's kind of common. Scatman Crothers' character mentions that his grandmother had it.
Oh, yeah, his grandmother had it.
Right, so it's out there. It's just a little more common than you would think, but they also tend to hide it pretty well.
Yeah, I guess so.
Dude, you know who else has Shining in this aside from Danny Boy and aside from Doc and Halloran? And I never thought about this until I watched some bonus footage on the Blu-ray. But
what?
Jack, he has Shining. He has visions of what occurred. He runs into previous visions. He runs into the lady in the bath. He can also shine.
But that's the hotel taking him over. That's the evil force making him mad.
No, he has shining abilities.
Is that him succumbing to the Shining?
No, I think it's him succumbing to the hotel's influence.
Yeah, that's the hotel.
At the very end of the film, Wendy is having those same visions.
No.
Yeah, she is.
She's not even having...
Oh, she walks into like a spider-webbed room, right?
It literally turns into like a haunted house where she's like,
she's witnessing those things at the very end. So
like 5 different things one after another.
And we're just explaining here that the hotel itself has a form of Shining because of the things that happened to her.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't Jack also sense when Halloran comes? Jack, how does he know that Halloran's there?
Grady tells him straight up.
And you think that's the hotel? That's not Jack's ability to shine or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what the hotel does. Is it makes the caretakers insane and it takes them over. Whoever's running the hotel, and I think that's the evil taking over the people because of the land. It
preys on the isolation. The kind of hotel's kind of dormant when there's so many people around because you can't do anything.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get people alone or by themselves or cut off, they're more vulnerable.
But I think it does later on when it shows all the blood in the elevator and the girls and like the weird like dude in the suit.
Now here.
I think it's like all the crazy things that do happen in the hotel. And there's also another guy that's like dead that they didn't really mention. I think there's like a bunch of crazy shit in this hotel going on that people don't even talk about probably.
In this scene where
obviously evil's in the room.
Halloran's still talking to Doc. Doesn't he also reference the fact that it's passed on from generation to generation? Right? So this kid...
Did he say that?
I think he does. And this kid has a shining ability. So he either gets it from Jack or Wendy. Wendy doesn't
Halloran
have it.
specifically mentions talking to his grandmother.
Yeah. I don't think Jack has it though.
Let me see if I can turn this thing up.
But you missed it. But he said he had conversations with his grandmother.
What about
without talking, just shining.
No, but I think he also said that, hey, this is passed on generation to generation. Like it's like a family trait.
I don't know if he said that specifically.
No. But the people who shine can notice. He's talking about the hotel psychic footprint here, or its own malevolence force. But yeah, I think it depends on how rare or common it is. It's not clearly established. It's just that it's not common and it's not known. But those that do have the ability recognize each other. And I think that's kind of where the hotel freaks Danny out so much and why he doesn't want to go initially.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to get in too much into the crazy book stuff, but
well, how could you? You never read it.
Well, I've heard about it, because it's just reading.
I've read the Wikipedia summary.
I've read the what do they call it? Spark Notes.
Well, and I'm excited for Dr. Sleep, so that goes into I was reading about the production of that movie too, so it goes into how it's actually like a sequel to this movie and the book at the same time. So it kind of recognizes like the fact that this happened but it does take more on of like a sequel to the book, and it is same thing. How are you going to turn this giant book into a movie? But same thing that Kubrick did. You just kind of adapt it like any movie is adapted.
All right, another title
Shorten it.
smash. 1 month later. So this would be what?
But yeah, that's what
October, November.
That's
November,
what the Shining was Tony was warning what it always does during
Tony
this movie.
is the imaginary friend of Danny.
Danny's imaginary friend is the Shining, whatever at work,
warning
him about this place and the things that are gonna happen. That's why he freaked out before he even got here. He's like, because he saw all the crazy visions about what happened in the hotel or what's gonna happen.
The earlier shot follows the tracking shot where the hotel was full of activity. Now it's isolated with just Wendy there.
Okay, we're at the scene where we're following Danny on the little tricycle.
Yeah.
A little bike. And this was another kind of like one of his tactics in filming this movie where he wanted this low-cut angle to give the effect that, hey, the hotel is actually watching. It's not just the family. The hotel's here too, following Danny, following Jack. And they even created a special like inversed camera mount so Kubrick could put himself in like this wheelchair and follow along with the dude running with the camera, like just completely mobile, following Danny.
I can get into that later now if you want, but the whole Steadicam thing. There's
I mean, we're on the topic now. Might as well. Yeah.
But we're about to get to something.
She got this big old breakfast ready to go.
Okay, so we're at the scene where Wendy brings in this like continental breakfast for Jack.
Yeah.
Anyway.
While he's still sane.
All he's got to do is just relax
while he's
and
not
write
shining, guys.
for
while
5 months.
That's my theory. I swear he's shining.
No, I don't think he is.
I doubt it.
I'm not kidding.
He may be susceptible or maybe
And it
sensitive, but I don't think he has a full-on shining power.
Yeah.
Certainly not to the extent of Halloran or Danny.
Not to that extent, but I think that Danny got it
Also,
from Jack.
He might have got it from his grandparents.
There's no reference to that in the movie.
And Halloran just talks about how he could talk to his grandmother without speaking. Shining.
Oh, that's okay.
Entire
Yeah.
conversations.
All right. Yeah. So Halloran
that's
gets it
the
from his
first thing he
grandma.
said.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, could be lots of things. Apparently that T-shirt he's wearing, it says Stovington. That's the school he was teaching at before he took the caretaker job.
What, his character?
Yeah. Because he mentions he was
Stovington. I never even noticed that.
some school in Maine or New England or something.
Yeah, Vermont. Maybe.
Right. Yeah, it's just one of those little details. But yeah, so the tracking shot on the tricycle is accomplished by actually sort of like one of the last technical innovations to happen to the Steadicam. The Steadicam was invented by Gordon Brown in 1975 and kind of revolutionized filmmaking. You got one Academy Awards for this shit. But the Steadicam is a really cool device where it's a camera mounted with a counterweight on a gimbal, allows you to walk forward, and the operator it cancels off the operator's motion, so you get an incredibly smooth tracking shot, and that can be hand controlled. To do
so what? It can swivel like while the dude's holding the mount,
right, and stay incredibly stable, no shake and no unsteadiness.
Yeah.
And originally, the way it was designed is the weight's lower and the camera's on top, and the operator holds it more or less.
Well, that's why they made it inverted, right? Is that special inverted mount?
So they had to invert it for the shot.
Yep.
Kubrick made him invert it, and then that actually became what's known as low mode. First Steadicam.
Funny.
So right now, as he's eating his breakfast, he's like literally just telling her a big theory that I have about the movies. He's like, as I was coming to the interview, it's like I've already been here before, and like, is this if I knew what was going on every corner? He even does the spooky voice at her, and he's like, he literally tells her like exactly what's happening, and he knows it too. And he's like, I feel like this place is calling me, and like.
Conspiracy alerts.
Yeah, and he's in the photo at the end of the movie, and like and the guy tells him, he's like, you've always been the caretaker, and it's like the date in the photo I think is actually the time when the hotel opened.
I think it was 1920, July 3rd, 1920.
They do mention it when it actually opened, so he is actually the guy that was there like when it opened or whatever. And he keeps just coming back in a different form. The spirits keep calling him back.
So are you talking about who the caretaker is?
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson's in this one, Jack Nicholson's the caretaker currently, but
so
are you saying at one point he was
60
Grady?
years later, so it could be him again. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I was gonna ask too. Like,
yeah,
what is the interpretation that?
Well, that's my interpretation.
That there's just like some type of reincarnation where it's the same caretaker every few decades or whatever that goes crazy.
I think it's him calling him back. Yeah.
So Grady is Jack. Jack is Grady.
No, I don't think Grady is Jack, but I think he is the original one that is...
Like in a former life, you think Jack was Grady?
No. He's the original caretaker of the hotel when it opens.
Who is?
Jack. This Jack. Is
Jack
like a
is the
reincarnated one, and that's why the hotel is just calling him back to take him back because it's an evil spirit.
Because
he's like, I'm going to kill you.
It's his because it's his picture in the 1920s.
In the picture,
yeah,
and
so
it's him.
he already knows this.
And he even says it. He's like, it's like I've already been here. It's like I've already
known
what's around
decades,
every corner. And he's like,
he just comes back
and
like, is the caretaker.
I feel like I've always been here, and like why he takes the job, and like he's not even put off about the axe murder thing or whatever. But that's just unless it's the.
I mean, yeah.
I think that's what Kubrick's trying to say in his interpretation of this movie. Is Shining is like it is, or that's what I take out of it is that it's the same Jack, his same character from.
Javier, what's your take on
the people that made it
on the
beginning.
Final shot where they're zooming in on the 1920?
Way too early to get into that because I want to talk about special effects here. This is the only shot in the film that was not accomplished in camera. This is actually a composite shot.
What is this? They're zooming down on the maze.
Oh, it's a model, right?
It's actually a model.
Yeah.
Composited with them walking around outside of London somewhere, on an airfield, I think, where they built part of the maze.
Well, I was getting into that because of the scene that was on where he's like literally telling her, it's like he's like, I feel like I've been here before and all this other stuff, and like the hotel's calling him back.
You're out of line, Johnny Walker.
I've got a different idea on that, but I'll get into that later. Because I don't know, I'm right now concentrating on the technical brains of here. You notice they're getting closer and closer together.
Now it's Tuesday.
And it was also Jack looking down at the model of the maze, and then it goes into them being in it.
Right. Again, the hotel's watching. But also, if you guys didn't notice, his typewriter said Adler on it, and that painting when he was throwing the ball through that tapestry, it looked kind of like rockets.
Oh, Adler rockets?
No, Adler means eagle.
Means what?
Adler means eagle in German.
Eagle?
Yeah. As in the eagle has landed.
Oh.
Conspiracies.
Yeah.
Conspirituality.
Anyway.
Why would he tell everybody? I mean, he's going to be dead sometime
Guilty
soon.
conscience.
You might as well. Yeah, you might as well.
Oh, true, right?
Anyway.
Might as well leave the clues.
This TV link there that they was filming, that was actually done with local talent, like on a TV show. The people who were on TV at the time, he hired them to do a little bumper.
Were they wearing their own clothes?
Yeah. No, they were like actually TV professionals. So people,
I mean, like
the on-air talent on the station at
they
the time.
didn't need any set clothes, is what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're back to the beautiful story.
Like how, like all the old horror movies everybody just wears their own clothes in the movies.
Hey guys, just bring your own wardrobe.
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick's like, these guys are already dressed.
The word here about the layout is like a lot of people have commented that it actually doesn't make any sense in real life.
Yeah,
but that's because he did it deliberately.
Yeah,
he wanted to create this claustrophobic feeling.
That's what they say.
What the layout, the interior layout of the
interior of the hotel. People laid it out the way it's shot, and they say it doesn't make any sense because it's all just sets.
Yeah,
and then it's like, and he said people say it's intentional because it's a freaky ass hotel, so it's like sucks you in, and you're just kind of like in this hotel. It doesn't really make sense like that. You're in there, the ballroom, and like it doesn't fit, and like all the way that the hallways are shot. And the way they go through them, like the layout doesn't make any sense.
Right, like he should be looping himself in the kitchen right now. But that's partly because of how he wanted it, and also because of the way they filmed it. Yeah. If you guys didn't know, all the interior shots were done at a studio in London.
Speaking about the interior shots, each of the hotel rooms, or each hotel room in each shot, they were actually handpicked just from a series of picks from hotels all around the country. Kubrick basically decided, hey, you know what? Someone already did it like great. It's already in production. It's already live. So he sent out a staff to go take pictures or grab pictures of all these other rooms and designs. And he just used it for his set.
Yeah, why not?
No. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like that's what he did.
Yeah. And then right there, Danny's trying to get into 237. Automatically,
locked.
The room
we're at the
not supposed to go in. He's like, but that's the room that's calling me.
We're at the scene now where they're zooming in on the back of Jack, typing in this typewriter.
Similar to Danny, he's zooming in past corridors to focus in on Jack. So the way he composes his images, he always immediately draws your attention to one thing.
Yeah,
the center of
you're always getting sucked into the character.
Right. Again, see the rockets on the far left there.
Oh yeah, I thought those were totems.
Oh,
not
wow.
rockets. No, they are rockets. Yeah,
they are totems, but they're meant to look like rockets.
Yeah,
I did not notice that. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really notice that either.
Yeah. And here he's typing away. Apparently that scrapbook pays a little more note, like in the book or whatever. That's mentioned more in the book.
What?
That scrapbook.
What he's writing?
No,
the scrap. What is it?
Apparently it's just information and news clippings about the hotel and includes stuff about the murders, I guess.
Oh, so he's like researching it.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, how can I make my descent into madness a little easier?
Yeah. But it's barely mentioned in the movie. That's all.
Yeah.
We're at the scene where Mr. Grouchy Pants, a.k.a. Jack, is on his typewriter, and Wendy interrupts him.
Yeah.
I mean, she literally says, "Don't be so grouchy."
Jack's
and he is really like a dick to her. Like,
now, this is his first display of
all right,
him
what's the
being...
time here? 40 minutes in?
44 minutes.
Okay,
What's the Ben-Hur? What's the
in?
Ben-Hur?
Yeah, you didn't do your hers.
Yeah, we should Ben-Hur, Javier.
I'll get to that.
While you look that up, this is his first display of his ass being like schizo or bipolar or taken over by the hotel, whatever the hell he has. But I think he's literally like schizophrenic.
This is where
and
it
then
kicks
it's
in,
amplified by the hotel.
But also, apparently, according to
44
Jack
minutes
Nicholson,
in, he starts going crazy.
he's crumpling paper. He's going crazy. But according to Jack Nicholson, it was kind of difficult. He related to it because when he was trying to write, as a writer, he also did some writing projects, I guess. When he was trying to write things and people would interrupt him, he just felt exactly like this in real life.
So he's just being Jack.
Yeah.
He's just being normal, his normal self.
Yeah. And
dude, he is a stern husband. Working.
That's great. But yeah, I mean, that's how it is. If you're concentrating on something, you're working on a project, then someone comes and breaks your flow, and then
dude, Wendy's just like
never break the flow.
Yeah, notice the way she's portrayed here. She's kind of childlike in a way.
Breaking the flow.
Yeah. Just her appearance and demeanor.
Dude, he just tells her to get the F out of there.
And her clothing, especially.
He's totally a dick, and then she's
dude,
like,
he's schizophrenic. He's bipolar. That's what bipolar like. That's how like a symptom or like an effect or whatever. I swear, he's got like some mental illness, and then this hotel just brings it out times 900.
Amplifies it.
He's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying he's crazy. He's literally crazy. And
the hotel's like, be crazy, and he's like, okay.
Here's your crack. Be bipolar
here's
on
your
crack.
Here's your crack.
No, I
crazy
swear.
spirits.
Yeah, it makes it worse. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, and he never goes outside with them and plays with them. You never see him do any of that
because he's bipolar.
Yeah.
There's the snowcat.
He is always very isolated.
So
all right, every time there's a bipolar like scene, I'm gonna do a little bell.
That's The Shining.
Someone's shining something.
Oops.
That is not a bell.
That was a cannon. Okay, here's the scene where it's focusing in on him looking outside. Again, he is schizophrenic in a catatonic state, just looking at nothing.
And
literally.
He's looking at his family.
No, he's looking into dead space, man.
Yeah, I thought he was looking at them.
He's not even blinking. He's not even barely breathing. He's schizophrenic. He's just like, oh.
He's watching them. But literally 2 minutes later, his insanity grew by like 50%.
Dude, he's schizophrenic and bipolar.
He's like 100% more crazy. And Jack Nicholson's the easy person to capture crazy face.
If like a schizophrenic person or a bipolar person drinks, it multiplies the effect. So you can see him drinking here later.
There's no alcohol here.
Dude, he's gonna sell his soul for it. You're gonna hear him.
That's the scene. Yeah, that's later.
But now he's back at work.
Now he's back typing away.
And I wonder how long he's been typing.
There's another American flag up there.
For the past month?
Wait, how long has he been typing?
The same words.
Been a month.
Yeah. The same
apparently
loop.
So
of typing that he's been writing.
I looked it up here. The All Work and No Play. That was typed up by Margaret Adams, Kubrick's secretary and production assistant. And apparently it took her several months to type them all up. Because you only see a few pages in the movie, but Kubrick, being the perfectionist he is, made her type them all up. That whole ream of paper.
Wait.
No, they show a lot of them.
Wait. Can you go back to that, Javier? Did you say who made who type that up?
Kubrick made his production assistant secretary, Margaret Adams, type up "All Work and No Play makes Jack a dull boy."
Because I thought that was like a never confirmed thing. I don't think Kubrick ever confirmed.
I thought they said he did it too. Or
No. I thought it was never confirmed. I thought Kubrick went to the grave with, "Hey, I either did it myself, or I made someone do it, or I paid someone."
Where do you get these rumors from?
So you're saying that he made his production cast do it?
Yeah. So his production crew do it.
Okay.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway. Dude, that would suck. Here's 500 pages of read the same thing. Like,
yeah. See. Wait a second. What did she say? KDK 1 to
KDK 12?
Yeah.
12.
Is that codes? Are those Russian codes?
It's code.
Oh, dude.
Who are they communicating to? Oh my god. Is this confirm the launch is over? Confirm the secret launches go?
All right, guys.
Well, I just
listen to my cash register. revenue time. All right, this will take 1 second because this is like the only movie. There's no series of it. Okay, so this movie had a $15 million budget.
What about the TV series?
Damn it, I didn't look that up. But this one had $15 million budget, and it made $44 million domestically. So it did very well. And of course, aside from its popularity, you got the Kubrick name behind it. You got Jack Nicholson's name. Yeah, it's iconic.
Movie.
It's like a literally like a
horror classic.
Yeah, a classic. I mean, this will go down in the books.
It has gone down the books.
Yeah.
Books you've been reading, but no one reads books anymore.
What's books, dude? Everything's about YouTube's.
Who's book? Who's this book person I keep hearing about?
YouTube's.
Yeah.
Dude, the largest book I read was on Yahoo News this morning on ESPN.
Apparently, if you notice again, they're focusing on Danny in the corridor and the.
Okay, so we're back at the scene.
Nobody uses books anymore.
Book. Dude, I use a book for a coaster.
Oh, ran into the two little dead girls.
Just ran into the two twins.
The creepy twins again.
The one pair of twins. And they're just
staring down. No, I thought they were just sisters.
Yeah, they're sisters. Yeah, they're sisters.
Grady's kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's staring them down, or they're staring him down.
Dressed like the same because
it's like the showdown.
Parents.
And here he begins to shine. He gets another.
Give your children identity.
He gets another like a.
Come play with us, Daddy.
Like a flashback. Okay,
here
they are
shit,
chopped
they're dead
up.
in the hallway
they're chopped
with the
up
axe.
with an axe.
That's fucked up.
Blood all over the walls.
And Eva. Oh, and creepy as hell.
Yeah. So dude, I don't know what's creepier, their accent or that scene.
It would have been, I guess, 44 million would have been more like 130 million this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's, by the way, sorry about that, guys. That was 44 million in 1980s dollars. So yes, Javier, to your point, it would have been a much larger amount in today's dollars.
It's a hit.
Right. And would have. Yeah, Danny's being traumatized again. I feel bad for Danny. This kid doesn't know what the heck's going on.
Dude, he's a man now.
He's like 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah, he grows up fast. School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, and he's got psycho power. It's like, come on.
Dude, he's got a... This reminds me... His ability reminds me of the movie... Is it Toon from Dark City? Had a Toon where you can like... Well, Toon is more about like moving stuff.
I don't remember.
He's like flashbacking.
I need to watch that again.
Really? You don't remember Dark City? Dude, it was really awesome.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I think it was old school Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah. Do you know the way to Shell Beach?
Exactly. At least you got that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, now we're at the scene where it's just displaying Monday. And they're panning out from some old school TV.
Yeah, what movie is this? What is this?
I don't know what this old school
What's
movie
the reference?
is. I don't know.
He's wearing red.
Red.
It's a sign.
Red rum.
It is a sign.
And he's trying to get her to stay for, or she's like, stay for coffee.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right.
Yes, please.
They're enjoying it, but again, the beautiful framing in this, but it really establishes the snowstorm and the characters' relationship with each other and television.
Oh yeah,
it's like
Jack's always by himself.
It's like
even from when they
class in composition.
got there.
And,
yeah, Wes Anderson just copied Stanley Kubrick the whole time.
Hey,
pretty much, yeah.
What other novel movies?
Just make it framing. It's like, oh, okay.
Or what other movies have been made off of Stephen King's novels? The Dark Half?
Oh man, so many.
Pet Sematary?
Christine.
Oh, yeah.
Car That Kills People. I love that movie.
Dude.
Dreamcatcher.
Cujo.
Oh, Cujo, really?
Wait, no, it's Cujo.
Yeah,
was that
Dark Tower? Yeah, that was
Dark Tower.
Dark Tower.
What'd you say? It? Yeah, It, the new one.
Oh yeah, It. Duh.
New one and the old one.
Everything. Pet Sematary, whatever. I think I said that.
The Tommy Knockers was, I think, it was a TV show.
Knockers.
Was that a?
That was a limited. That was like a TV series.
Yeah. Needful Things. Dolores Claiborne. Misery.
So
basically a shit ton.
A bunch, dude. You can never. Yeah.
What's that one that just came out? Gerald's Game.
Oh really?
I think so.
All right, we're at the scene where now Danny is entering. I guess it's his parents' room, or is it his? I guess they're all in one room, right?
It's their apartment.
It's their little apartment in the hotel.
And he's kind of just creeping in. He tries to walk
whatever that
past,
means.
tries to walk past Jack, but Jack catches him.
Yeah.
I just want my fire truck,
dude. I just want my fire truck.
Red fire truck.
Red fire.
Oh yeah, red collared shirt here in this scene.
He needs the fire truck to put out the fire.
And there's Jack again in his schizophrenic, catatonic state where he's looking at nothing, which is freaky.
And he says he can't sleep.
I mean, that alone's like freaky.
Oh, again with the mirrors too. The other theme you'll notice is there are a lot of shots in this movie where characters are looking at each other or see things in mirrors.
Yeah.
Dan did earlier with his psychic break when he the first time he got traumatized.
The whole scene was shot earlier in the mirror's perspective, and then in the second half of it, it switched to the real perspective.
Yeah.
It was zoomed in on the mirror when he was eating breakfast.
Yeah. Mirrors framing that. And, so yeah, he tried to get in room 237. He couldn't before, right?
The kiddo?
Danny boy?
Yeah, I think he went up to the door, and then he just kind of, didn't get in.
As the hotel gains influence with Jack, it starts to be opened up.
Is there ice bucket?
All right, so now we got Jack basically kind of asking Doc, "Hey, how's it going?" And Doc slips up. I guess he kind of just asks him like, "Hey, Dad, you won't, you'll never hurt me and Mom." And Jack flips out. He's like, "What? Did she tell you that?" So
it's a bit paranoid, yeah.
Yeah, again, it just shows, like, it continues to show that he's further dwindling down into his like psychotic episode, or he's just being like, again, like you said, Javier, paranoid, like, asking random questions, asking what his mom said to the kid, all kinds of stuff.
His mental state is continually deteriorating.
Yeah, I mean, quickly, like.
Well, not quickly if you think about it. It's been over a month. It doesn't feel that way because it just shows us a title card that says, "Oh, it's been a month." And now it's been several days in that month.
No. But didn't he just like recently he just switched like?
Well, that's the thing. The kind of, I guess maybe he could go with the other show has a little time to develop it more, but it's taking time for him to go nuts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And it doesn't really start to amp up until that snowstorm hits as well. Mm-hmm. Which was everyone is isolated and vulnerable because they can't get anywhere, go anywhere. So
these sound effects here, where he's talking to his kid, and the little music in the background, it reminds me so much of Dexter. Man, it has like those little sharp little, like saxophone type tunes. Kind of cool.
Yeah, I believe I was composed by Bela Bartok.
Bela Bartok.
And he mentions it in the credits, so I can talk about the music a little bit later too. If you want. Or I can now.
Just to let you know, the Rotten Tomatoes ranking is 85% on the tomato meter, which is the percentage of approved tomato meter critics. So that's really good.
Right.
Even better than that is the 93% audience score, which is the percentage of users who rated this movie 3.5 stars or higher. Right. So this thing withstood the test of time. I mean, it's known. It still has amazing ratings. So, and they're making Dr. Sleep in November 2019. So,
right. It's happening.
Does anyone know? Do we know who's directing that or anything like that? Does anyone know anything about that?
He did. I know the director did. Damn, I forget the name of the. He did a couple.
You don't know?
No, he did a couple horror movies beforehand. So it's like he's in the genre. So it makes sense for him to be directing the Dr. Sleep movie. But I forget the name of the director and the movies he did.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about
Fine
that?
reference.
I will be stepping out for momentarily. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Let's keep on talking.
Yep. So, anywho, I think like.
But yeah, I don't think
it's a hotel.
I only read a little bit about Dr. Sleep, so I don't really know that much.
Who's
about
the main
it.
character? Is it Ian McGregor or Ewan McGregor?
Oh, I mean, I know about it. I just don't know the director.
Who's playing the kid? Who's playing Danny?
Ewan McGregor is Danny, which is just. Well, I know it's supposed to be a sequel to the book and the movie at the same time.
It is, yeah.
And so it's going to reference both of them.
I mean, they reference, I think, Flash. They're
going to reference each other, yeah. And I think Holloway, Halloran, he is. I think he's alive in that version, which is also kind of weird.
That's kind of weird because he was like already old as hell in this movie. I mean,
he's already older in this movie, and so he's still alive later. But that's like a whole other thing. But yeah, it's Ewan McGregor. He's dealing with his shining ability. He's still getting closer, and he's like have you seen the trailer?
I have.
Yeah, well, he's like
he's having flashbacks.
He's having flashbacks to he actually like goes to the freaking hotel like in the fucking trailer. But it's like he's connecting with all the other people who do have shining power. So he's like reaching out to them. I think he finds a girl. He's like kind of mentoring her who has the power also.
Right, there is a younger girl, right?
So he's like really diving deep into like what this is that he has and like and then obviously that brings up all the old stuff that happened to him back in the day, and specifically 237.
237, okay.
Whatever is in 237 specifically is, and it is in Dr. Sleep. That's what I was like. I don't know what to talk about it too much, because like
Dude, talk.
It's not about it. I mean, it's not out, and I don't know that much about it.
No,
So
Wendy's
it's
doing
just-
all the actual work here. It's like there's the Omen explained in the interview. You need to check the boilers and make sure they run to keep the hotel from freezing over.
Oh, Wendy's doing
Yeah,
all the work.
that was
Well,
another
that's
thing I
'cause
did notice too. Yeah,
Jack
it's like
is being
the
busy
whole
being
time.
psychotic and
Yeah.
schizophrenic and bipolar.
the whole time
And
she's
being
literally
taken over
been
spiritually by the
she's
hotel.
been the caretaker, and he's just been like doing nothing, like typing away.
Working on his book.
Yeah, working on
Or
his
his
book
play or whatever the heck it is.
for 5 months. He can't just chill. And it's only been like a month and a half, right? Like
Yeah.
before he goes insane, he didn't really even last that long. He's like, okay, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's not good.
So-
Not good for business.
So she's hearing something, right?
Well, she's hearing him now. They're showing the screenshot or the scene where he's like whimpering in his sleep,
Yeah.
and they got the Marlboro
See?
cigarettes in the corner.
He's whimpering in front of the Adler. He's crying in front of the eagle.
Dude, this is so
Conspiracy.
funky because schizophrenics and
Adler?
bipolar people don't sleep. This guy's sleeping.
Oh, the typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
He's horrified at what he
Yeah.
did.
He totally is. I think so.
I would be
What if he had like a
if I
dream-
faked the moon landing.
Yeah.
I'd be mortified.
Dude, it is.
Right.
It is fake.
Nah, it's not fake.
It is, man.
For the record, Bruno Diaz believes the moon landing is real.
Aha!
Reach
Hold
for
on.
the stars, infinity and beyond.
There we go. I have something. This is my response to you, Bruno Diaz. 1 second.
Oh, you're too late.
Here's a nice clap.
Anyway, no. Just for the record, I want it known that the Right Honorable Javier Ian Marcellus Ignatius II, Esquire, believes that Kubrick obviously faked the moon landing on
Oh,
a
no.
soundstage on Mars.
Oh, okay.
On Mars
I believe that.
with
Yeah.
Arnold.
That's more plausible.
Yeah.
John Daniels here. Moon landing was fake.
What? How dare thee?
All right, we're at the scene now where he's basically still crying here on the floor, kind of just opening up to Wendy, like.
And
Yeah.
notice the change in costuming too. She's wearing a bit more practical clothing. Still kind of childlike, but it's actually starting to grow up a little bit because she's got the overalls, which is what working people wear.
Oh, her actual clothing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before when she was talking to Jack and he was like
She's
yelling
like
at
in the
her,
onesie thing.
she had like a child's uniform
Yeah.
on, child's clothes on. Now she's got like more of a uniform on. So she's developing as
So wait,
Jack
was-
deteriorates is the point I'm trying to
Did Space 2001 come out after or before the moon landing?
make. Before, a couple years before.
Oh,
That's why everyone thought he
man,
faked it.
that's why. Okay.
That's the
Why?
whole point of the conspiracy.
So
yeah.
the space shots in 2001 are better than the space shots in the moon landing.
Yeah.
Why? Even still.
Yeah. So see, Wendy just goes
Why
right-
don't you mind me? I like her the way she speaks in the scene.
Yeah.
Mind me, boy. Why
Is that
aren't
what
you
she
minding
said?
me? Yeah. She's like, well, you're not listening.
Dude, okay, now she just realized
And
that
then-
Danny Boy's got like
Yeah, and
strangle marks on his
she
neck.
was like doing work in the boiler room. Obviously, she's like, he probably did it. He's been screaming in his sleep. He's been weird, asshole like. He's heard him before.
Now she's
and then,
looking.
and then he's
in-
not saying anything.
She's looking in Jack's direction, and Jack is just being schizophrenic.
Yeah, he's just kind of sitting
He's just
there,
sitting there
wide-eyed.
like,
Yeah.
"Ooh."
Oh,
In
yeah.
his catatonic state.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
I'm not-
all,
I'm not
all,
crazy,
Like,
don't worry.
therapists should watch this movie to like study about like schizophrenics and stuff. Not kidding.
You did it.
And now she's yelling at him in his crazy state, which by the way is like
He just woke up from a bad dream.
yeah, it's
What?
like worse than talking to like a drunk
didn't.
person.
Yeah.
Like you can't reason. They have no
No.
cognitive sense of whatever
No,
the
he
objection
didn't.
is.
And she's freaking out, rightfully so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Bruises
dude.
around the boy's
the
neck?
kid's like strangled. Her son's like
What,
he's
she got
like
Uggs on or
Like
something?
Jack's facial expressions in this movie should be
he's like
a,
what?
should be a meme
How
factory.
dare they?
He's like I'm just being crazy.
This movie is a
Oh,
meme
oh, oh.
factory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, so
Now enter
to-
the scene where he's just walking by himself
splash her red
aimlessly,
again.
and he's just like twitching, like bleh. It's hilarious.
This is where Jim Carrey got his moves from.
Dude,
Yeah,
this
pretty
is
much.
funny.
Somebody
This
stop
is
me.
this is where he based me, myself, and Irene.
Dude, this is funny. He's like, dude, this is awesome.
The gold room.
And he is about to enter the gold room.
Happy hour. Unwinding hours.
Unwinding hours.
As it was known in classier times.
I
I
thought
remember
his
well.
insanity was unwinding.
Basically.
He's unwinding. Sound effects go on.
Now they did specifically mention that they cleared the hotel of any liquor, right? Due to insurance policy. Yeah, I think Ullman told them that due to insurance, we had to clear any and all liquor. So he's like, "Sorry, bub."
Yeah, and in a lot of this movie, the music does a lot of the work for it.
Right. Well,
the music alone is freaking me out.
I mean, it just enhances.
It does a lot of work for you.
Yeah, it does a lot of the work for it, and it just enhances. I mean, automatically enhances the scenes and what they're trying to do. But they both, complement each other so well. But the music does really like push. It's like pushing the mood, really.
Well, Kubrick's known for that. He's like most of his movies have really iconic soundtracks.
Yeah.
And here he just made the offer. He sold his soul for
he literally did. I'd sell my soul for a hamburger.
Yeah, he just sold his soul for a drink.
Well, what do you know?
Look on his
the
face
devil lives here.
Yeah, he goes, "Hey, Lloyd, a little slow tonight."
And this movie also, comparatively to the other horror movies we've been watching, it was always just like an evil presence. Like it's not really an evil thing or an evil person. Like they even state it as like the thing in 237. Like that's like the evil that's there, and whatever form it takes. Like I guess has to do with the person seeing it or whatever or reacting to it. Right. So it always is like some weird. It's like just the evil, like just like a thing.
Here's Lloyd, who is actually Joe Turkel that plays this bartender.
Right.
Now he was also in Blade Runner playing Dr. Eldon Tyrell.
Yeah, that's how he looks familiar.
He was also in Tales from the Dark Side, the TV series.
Oh, nice.
He was in The Dark Side of the Moon. Isn't that a Pink Floyd album or song? You mean or whatever? The Wall? Or I don't know. And he was also in Blade Runner, the video game, I guess, as a voiceover.
He's in Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd?
Well, I think the movie's called Dark Side of the Moon.
Do they have a movie?
It's not a Pink Floyd movie, though.
No. It's not a Pink Floyd movie. Doesn't Pink Floyd have a song called or an album titled that?
That's the album, yeah.
Okay, well, there's also a movie, which Joe Turkel, who plays this bartender, was also in, called, the movie is called Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh, okay.
And I can't believe you left it out, John.
Which movie?
Trivia is that Joe Turkel has one of the few distinction of being one of the few actors that Kubrick reused, because he doesn't reuse actors. You notice like Quentin Tarantino or Alfred Hitchcock will use the same actor over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Joe Turkel also appeared in Paths of Glory 1957 as Private Pierre Arnaud.
Which was that? Which movie was that?
1957, Paths of Glory.
Huh.
One of Kubrick's earlier films.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I did not mention that earlier.
Right. Okay. As I said, Kubrick doesn't reuse movies a lot.
Well, he
actors.
He probably just realized that this guy's perfect for the thing. Right. And look, one swig of that thing, and he's like done. He's like, oh hell yeah.
He just had. He needs to go change his pants.
Pretty much,
dude. He just like he literally like. This is Jack after he drinks.
But yeah, this oh yeah, in Passengers, yeah, it does. I do see the reference now. Yeah. But like just the red coat and everything. But yeah, the guy is perfect for this part though. The bartender, just this. Oh yeah, his face.
Joe Turkel. Yeah, no, he's good. He's like he plays like he's like the T-1000 bartender, right? He's just like, okay, what do you want me to serve you as?
Yeah. Can't live with them. Can't live without them.
Infamous line: "Women can't live with them. Can't live without them." And Jack is like, words of wisdom.
Jack is he's totally bought into wisdom.
I feel like Jack Nicholson is just like 25% of this character.
That's like he's just his ordinary.
Being himself.
Yeah,
he's just kind of like he's just reacting how Jack Nicholson would be reacting.
I would totally chop up my family if they didn't let me concentrate.
If the half of the script told me to.
Anyway,
he's talking about
he's getting very defensive about it.
About ripping out Danny's like little arm.
Yeah. And then here's where he gets inconsistent. He's like, I'd do anything for my son.
After one drink. Any fucking thing.
But I heard him once, and then
he's talking about his wife.
Never let me forget. And he says, where is it?
What did he say?
He's gonna reference
a loss of momentary.
The time that when it actually was.
Right.
He's like a temporary loss of like motor whatever. He's gonna say the line here in a second.
I did. Yeah, I do see a lot of Jim Carrey in this.
Yeah.
I've seen references before,
Temporary loss of.
which is weird because I noticed it before, and then
See,
the internet
he says
recognizes
3
it
goddamn
also.
years ago. Papers everywhere. And yeah, he says 3 years. She said 6 months.
Yeah,
And that was also the incident apparently that caused him to go off the wagon.
Yeah.
Or on the wagon.
Momentary
Put him on
loss
the
of
wagon.
muscular
which was only 5 months
coordination.
ago.
Right. And isn't that as Toasty said, to 5 months of sobriety and all the harm it's caused?
Yeah,
So that's the thing, because apparently Stephen King also struggled with alcoholism in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, how did he make all these great films that drunk?
alcohol.
It was because
Stephen
of
King.
alcohol.
No, it's Stephen King. Stephen King, the author.
Huh?
The author, not the director. Stephen King, not Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
who?
Stephen King was the drunkie.
Yeah. He
Okay.
struggled with alcoholism.
How did he write all those goddamn books then?
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Same answer.
Yeah.
All right.
The cause of
That
and solution to all
explains
our
it.
problems.
Exactly.
Jack's.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're at the scene
How'd
where
you
now
get rich and famous?
Wendy-
Alcoholism.
Yeah.
What happened? Alcoholism.
Alcohol. AA. So now we're at the scene where Wendy runs in and basically warns Jack that, hey, there's a crazy woman in the bathtub. She tried to
And
strangle
then she's
Danny.
like straight up, like crazy ecstatic,
He's
and then
hysterical.
yeah, hysterical, and which is crazy that she believes the kid like automatically.
Well, no,
off
I
the
think
bat.
didn't Wendy
She's like,
see
"There's somebody here,
Didn't Wendy
blah, blah."
see the lady?
no, not yet.
She said Danny told her.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
okay,
based off
okay,
the kid's
okay.
words,
And
like she's
he's
not
like-
even. And they kind of skipped that scene where like
He's like, are
Explains
you
what
out of
happens.
your
Yeah.
effing mind?
yeah, and he's like, "What the fuck are
Anyway.
you talking about, crazy?"
Okay, we're at the scene where Scatman,
Enjoy-
they're
again,
zooming in,
Mr.
zooming out of his feet.
Scatman.
Shout out to the local crew. He actually got the Miami television people to do that for him.
Really?
Oh yeah, everybody
Yeah.
wears their own clothes.
I don't know if it counts as fan service or not, but yeah.
Ding, fan
That's
service.
quite the picture he's got on the
Photo
wall.
Oh,
on
yeah,
the wall.
Afro lady?
Or, yeah,
Yeah.
photo or
Oh yeah,
painting or whatever it is, but it's a very nice
Right.
photo on the wall.
this dude's just chilling in
And
Florida.
Scatman is just like, just
Scatman.
looking.
I can't blame him, yeah.
Scatman.
Florida's nice in the wintertime.
Isn't there a song? I'm
Mm-hmm.
the Scatman.
Bum, 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 bum.
And then, oh yeah, ring the bell again for this other one.
Don't get me started on Scatman.
It's Catman.
Yes, the second bell for the second photo behind his bed now. Also
Smaller
another
afro.
very lovely picture on the wall.
Yeah. Again with the red everywhere.
He's got his feet up on a pillow,
Yeah.
relaxing.
Dude, that's not good for the pillow.
Max chill.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
now
no,
he's tuning.
And
just
he's like,
kidding,
damn,
shining.
shinning, getting away with my news.
Shining.
Yeah.
Shinning.
Dude, this guy looks like he's dead.
Yeah. So, like, is this like contacts or something? Or is this dude really tripping hard in this scene? Because look at his freaking pupils, man. They're huge.
I think that's just like,
Is that like a camera trick or something? Like
part camera trick. I think part of it's a camera trick.
oh my
like
god.
where you
are
know
big.
you shine the lights on your pupils and
they
it makes it like.
Dude, that is
Look at his
disgusting.
pupils,
I
dude.
never
Yeah.
noticed that.
That's why this
You
scene
can-
freaks me out. His
Dude,
eyes are getting redder.
I never see.
By
I
the
never
second.
noticed people's eyes.
Dude, look.
Yeah.
I know now. I notice now. I'm like, oh,
Look at him.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Or
he's
it, was,
shining.
it wasn't his pupils, but his eyes were just like.
Danny
Red
is
and-
now like
yeah.
slobbering all over himself. They're both shining, and I guess they're freaking out because of what occurred or what's going to happen in 237,
Right.
or what had happened in
What already
237.
happened
We
to
don't.
him,
Yeah,
yeah.
it
What's
already
happened?
happened.
What's gonna happen?
But yeah, all the above because they know
What
that
is
Jack is
happening?
going to walk into the room.
And,
They know that.
and again, the hotel's alive and it's feeding into both of them because
Right.
Mhm.
the door was open. Somebody got the key. Somebody opened the door and then called Danny again to the room for that crazy shit to happen to him.
Okay, so now they're doing first person view for Jack walking into
Yeah.
237.
And
He's
he's
checking
like,
out the
I'll go
bedroom.
scope it out, you crazy lady.
Yeah.
And again, all these designs, all these like the whole decor is
It's a
already
hotel somewhere.
Yeah, it's actually it was at some point
It's a
somewhere.
recreational
Yeah.
hotel somewhere.
I mean, you
And
can,
he is about to step into the bathroom,
Yeah. Just
you've been to one hotel room, you've been to them all.
right?
again, this framing. He keeps putting things in corridors, frames, doorways. So it kind of leaves a sense of inevitability.
Claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia and
Phobiaism.
inevitability. Much like Thanos, your descent into madness is inevitable.
Got the heartbeat effect in the background.
Yeah.
I also like how his beard keeps going too.
Yeah, he's not shaving anymore. He's
Yeah.
just getting shaggy.
Dude, that's what schizophrenic people do. They forget about daily activities. Hello.
And this
Okay.
happens.
Enter.
And then
That's like
Evil
the
Ghost.
Weakest fan service bill, because somehow this is like not sexy at all, even though she's
I
naked.
did not hear that fancy. I
Well, the
barely heard
music doesn't help.
Yeah,
it. So she. So,
And Jack is like obviously crazy.
yeah.
Does anyone know about this actress?
This was the only
No.
really she was in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The last movie.
They just changed your name.
One and only.
First, last, and only movie.
Wait, is it what? Just it was too crazy.
You're the gross old lady from The Shining.
You're the hideous beast, the dead girl from The Shining.
Maybe it was her.
Javier, you already. There's no other fan service.
Maybe it was her in makeup
top and
too.
Bottom.
Oh, top and bottom. Okay, gotcha. Okay, Jack is like, hold on, this is Jack.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
I mean, that's literally like that's him right now.
Yeah.
What?
But,
And she's basically just approaching him, like kind of just like, I mean, I don't know what he's. Well, we obviously know what he's thinking. He's not thinking gunshots, guys. He's thinking, hey, let me go talk to her.
Yeah,
he's approaching her now.
No, he's gonna explode. All right.
He's trying to lock his stock.
Trying to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Would you guys start making out with a naked girl if she was like in this like crazy?
Well, I'd have some questions first.
Yeah.
Where the hell did you come from?
I'd be like, who, what, when, where, and how, and why, and then okay.
And then okay. I think I would ask those questions after.
You're like, evil ghost. Oh
I'd
man.
be like, is your boyfriend around?
Dude, that's what
or girlfriend.
That's what the lock on the door's for.
I'd be like, hey, I'm the caretaker. Who are you?
By the way, I'm the caretaker.
Are you evil ghost or
I'm
no?
the caretaker. Let me take care of you.
I don't think he cares that she's an evil ghost. I think he's like, all right, well, I'm just
He's about to.
making out. And dude, he's married. This naughty Jack.
But he is under
Immediately, he's
influence.
like, okay.
He's like, all right, starts making out with her.
Under the influence in more than one way.
That's true. He's drunk. He's schizophrenic. He's bipolar, and he's under the influence of the hotel. So I guess that's
He's like,
he gets a
down.
green. He gets a green pass for cheating on his wife.
And then old lady shows up.
And now he looks in the mirror, and the reflection is not that same hot girl. It is a
it's a dead
disgusting,
old lady.
rotting,
Corpse.
horrible corpse.
Oh, no.
And we have a little bit of a
Technical
pause
difficulties?
here.
A
Hold on,
little
let me
bit
see
of
if I can
technical
fast forward
difficulties.
through this thing.
We apologize for the technical difficulties.
1 second here.
Ding dong. Take a little break.
What's going on?
All right.
All right, someone time this. What time is it?
Well, we're at the 1:15 mark.
Okay.
So anyway, we hit the select information.
Here,
timestamp.
someone do the timestamp.
Now we're at 1:16:52.
Okay.
So we've cut away from that and gone to the next scene.
Yeah, 1:16:52 where
He's showing up right back. So yeah.
The scene is now where Holleran's on the phone. Jack, again, guys, we had to move forward a little. We had to kind of skip a scene a little bit, but Jack is
It
now
jumped ahead
going
a
back.
little bit.
Yeah,
We
Jack is
jumped ahead
now
like 35
going
seconds,
back
yeah.
to Wendy and telling her, "Hey, there was nothing in the room.
Yeah.
It's
not a goddamn thing.
It's not a
except-
goddamn thing except that dead corpse that
except
they just
that-
made
yeah,
out
I
with."
made up with the corpse. I'm not gonna tell you about that.
Yeah,
So nothing was in there.
And Wendy is like still questioning him, like.
But yeah, what
"Did you go
happened
in the
was
same room?"
he saw that she was a decaying corpse in the mirror, and then she like says some crazy stuff to him.
She
and
laughed at him, yeah.
Yeah, and then she like chases him out, and then he like stumbles out the door, and then just runs away back to the room, which is where we're at now.
And of course, he's not telling his wife any of that. He's like, no,
yeah,
there's no one there.
no. It's like, yes, I did see the crazy old lady after I was making out with her. And then I ran away like a little boy.
Yeah.
You gotta
Okay.
face the evil.
So now we're still at the scene where, again, the camera is facing their backs, and they're walking towards their bed, and he's still trying to explain, like, hey, nothing was there, nothing's going on, everything's fine and dandy. And now they're sitting down on the bed, and he's still trying to console her. She's basically in tears here. Like, what about those
the
bruises on the
bruises?
kid?
Right, and you can see it already. That's like the first like supernatural manifestation in the real world of the hotel
Oh, that the characters notice.
that anyone notices. Really,
Yeah.
there's one other one.
One of
prominent
the key in the door. They open the door, and then
Right.
I guess that's it.
Yeah, but like I said, but that's the thing. A lot of things could have been just people in their own headspace because they've seen the blood out of the elevator, but it says like there's actually no blood in the elevator in the hallway.
Well, it's just Danny's premonitions.
Right.
That wasn't any of them. He
Well,
hasn't
see-
seen anything crazy.
Now,
Which is actually
saying-
interesting through Jack's perspective. He doesn't really see the stuff. He just like it's all internal for him. Like he just like becomes
Right.
like
Except the
it
bar.
just like takes over him. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like you. Could
Yeah. Well, that's the first. Yeah. The
okay,
the
we're
bar.
back.
Yeah,
We're at the
yeah.
scene now where they're focusing on Danny, and Danny is like having this. He's about to have this flashback. Or is he listening to them?
He's listening to them.
And he just has a flashback of red rum written on the
premonitions.
door.
Yeah.
So this is Tony warning Danny.
Right. Well,
basically,
listening to them. Yeah.
It's basically just survival instinct kicking in,
Right.
and in its most basic form.
Yeah.
Through the shining power that Danny has.
Right.
Is just it almost saves his life throughout the whole movie.
It does really save his life.
Yeah. So it's him just showing you what's happening.
Now we got the blood running through,
and that's just
elevators.
what his mom sees too. That's the same thing.
Right.
So I think that's just him seeing what his mom sees, and like maybe I do think all those things that she sees at the end are happening.
No, they're not. You can tell they're not. But the point is, you could make the point, as it could have been argued, that a lot of what the characters see or experience is just in their headspaces, not overtly manifested in the real, quote unquote, real world.
Yeah.
But then you start to get stuff like Danny's bruises.
Yeah.
And
the key on the door.
No, not even the key on the door. That could just be someone's imagination, if you think about it.
What are you talking about?
It could be just.
It was locked before, and then now it's not.
You can imagine it's being locked, or you can imagine it being opened. I'm saying you could have made the argument, or you could have put it there yourself without even recognizing.
That's the hotel. That's the hotel's work. Obviously.
Right, now we're at the scene where Jack is just wrecking the stuff in the kitchen, just tossing
that's the hotel's
pots
work
and
because
pans or
later
whatever.
on he does the damn Gary lets him out of the refrigerator.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's one thing that couldn't be explained away by something being
that's the hotel.
I'm saying there's a lot of things that could be, but there's a very few things that aren't. Is the point I'm trying to make.
But that's the hotel. That's the manifestation. That's the
the
evil force driving these characters. It is part of the movie.
It is possible to make the case. I'm just saying that
it couldn't be anything else.
It's a lot just happening in people's heads.
That's true.
It's an argument that can be made. Has been made. I'm not claiming that argument for myself.
No.
So do you think
I think some of them are, and some obviously.
Well, here's a question of the supernatural theme. Right now, when Wendy, we're gonna skip forward. I'm gonna talk forward a little bit. There's a scene where Wendy locks Jack in a freezer room. However, Jack gets assistance from Grady.
Yeah.
So it's a question of how much supernatural actually.
The hotel is pushing all of them into madness to the evil forces in their mind.
That's one thing. That's like one thing where the supernatural comes to fruition and comes to life, and then says, "Okay, we're gonna help Jack. We're gonna help Jack out, chop up his family."
He even
says they let him out. They let him out of the freezer room or whatever.
And the same thing is doing the same thing to Danny because Danny's very easily susceptible to it because of The Shining, and that's why the hotel is messing with Danny at the same time,
torturing him with what's happened.
We got Holleran. Holleran's on the case now. He's basically calling the
and
the cops.
Another reason for it's easier for the manifestation to become. You can see the marks around his neck and everything is because he has the Shining, so it's a lot easier for him to connect with that other side.
We're at the scene now where Jack is going back into the gold room. He's going to walk back into this huge party here in just a moment.
So is this a July 4th ball or is it not?
See, that I don't know. Let's look at the... Okay, now that he just entered the room. One? He just entered the ballroom. Greeted Mr. Torrance. Good evening.
Fun little trivia fact. Apparently no one in the characters are actually saying anything. They're just mouthing words. They're not actually speaking.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there's the sound, right?
Right.
Because of the music,
all the chatter and everything.
Right.
Yeah. No, for the scene. Yeah.
Okay, we got Lloyd here, the bartender, back. He's pouring drinks for some of the patrons.
Oh, and apparently that was Kubrick's wife on the couch back there.
Oh nice.
Really?
Yeah. A little cameo in there.
And Jack's like, "Hey, Lloyd, I'm back."
So could this be their 4th of July? I don't know.
See, I don't know. There's no red, white, and blue though.
The balloons in the corner are.
New Year's?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Are they red, white, and balloons?
Hair, the dog that bit me.
It's either the...
What is...
It's either the day... It's the opening ceremony
is the hair of the
or
dog
the
that
New
bit me?
Year's
Is that
or
where,
the
like,
4th of July.
Is that where you drink the same drink that gave you the hangover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should know that.
Oh, I
Notice
can't.
he got his money back. He didn't have it before.
Yeah. And that's another thing I noticed. It's like, they didn't... I mean, he went back to his room. He could have grabbed it from the room.
Right.
But, like... It's interesting that it is there and it wasn't there before. So it's either him being crazy or him being insane.
I think it's the deal the hotel's making with him. It's like, hey, money's no good here. Then he does get his money, but he can't pay that currency anymore.
See, I love this part right here where this is the only time where Jack has
any kind
of character.
Well, any kind of like cognitive ability.
He's that's what I mean. Anything besides him going insane
Yeah.
is he's like, wait a minute, like he's realizing what's happening almost.
Dude, even schizos have a sense of reality every now and again, like once every year.
It's too late once he goes ahead and accepts it.
He's like, okay,
I'll
fuck
roll with it. Yeah.
He's like, I need to know who's buying my drinks. Which is a thing you would need to know.
Where's the announcement tone? I'm taking a break. I will be right back.
No, I think you want this one.
And then this guy immediately dumps it all over him.
Yeah, it's nasty shit too.
Like weird. What is it? What is it, like apricot something?
Advocaat.
Advocaat. What is that?
Advocaat is a liqueur that's Dutch in origin. It is made with eggs, sugar, brandy.
Ew.
And it's it's kind of a thick, creamy drink. It's made by De Kuyper, who also are known in the United States at least for making schnapps.
Huh.
And there are several like advocaat recipes you can do, but yeah, it's a bit creamy for my taste.
It sounds too thick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe as like a one-off, but if you're gonna be drinking throughout the night,
yeah,
I would not be.
It's more like a dessert thing, I would think, or something.
Yeah.
Anyway. So apparently
it's just a fancy schmancy drink.
So apparently this bathroom was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright.
Oh, nice.
Because it is taken from, let's see, I've got it in my notes here.
Oh, it's actually from something? Like based off of a painting of his or something?
No, it's based off one of the hotels that Kubrick scouted out.
Oh.
And this was the Biltmore Hotel. The Biltmore Hotel in Arizona. So this is a recreation of the Biltmore Hotel in Arizona. And the Biltmore Hotel in Arizona was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright.
Oh.
Grady. Weren't you the caretaker here? And again, notice the...
Delbert Grady.
Incredible
exactly.
And the framing.
And there's an ashtray in the bathroom. Love it.
Yeah. It's the 80s, man. You can smoke wherever, anywhere. I don't know. You bring this up. Have you ever seen The Exorcist?
Yeah.
She smokes in the doctor's office.
Well, it might have happened already, but I think it happens later. But the mom is smoking right in front of the kid during breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it already happened. Yeah. She's literally smoking during breakfast right in front of her kid. Mm-hmm. That doesn't help, Danny.
Dude, it was the 70s. It's like that was 80s. Like cool.
But yeah, so Grady here is like, you're the caretaker here, blah, blah, blah.
And I will be setting a tone when they break the 180 rule, if they didn't have it already.
What's that?
What 180 rule? Oh, your Ben-Hur's?
No, the 180 rule. It's a basic filmmaking rule.
What is that?
Really? I got to explain the 180 rule? Well, the idea being that your camera has a certain range of motion, and you never want to flip your camera around 180 degrees.
What the beep are you talking about?
Why
the
not?
Matrix?
Oh, because it helps keep things easily aligned for the viewer. So you can keep things organized and keep things from being too confusing. So motion can go in a lot of ways, but it doesn't go past 180 degrees.
I'm already confused.
I don't believe in that rule at all.
No. I mean, most movies observe it.
Dude, all I know is the Matrix, where the Keanu Reeves goes like back.
Well, if there's any case for it being used, it'd be this for this movie and specifically this scene.
Well, it's mostly
because it shows to show opposite how weird it is.
Camera changes orientation. Full 180.
Oh, okay.
And it is exactly right when he says it.
Huh.
Right. He focuses in on the character. Jimmy, that's on purpose.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying he broke the 180 rule. It's not usually done. Because usually, if you have any two characters talking to each other, they'll stay on the same side of the frame.
And also, I don't know if you guys
the camera moves.
I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the camera is shaking during these scenes. I noticed it earlier.
Really?
Yeah, it is slightly moving left and right. No, the scene, the 180 rule that he just said. When it went to the other side, it was moving like back around, like left and right a little bit.
All right, break from the 180. We have to give credit to Grady, who is played by Philip Stone. Rest in peace. 2003, at the age of 79.
But this
Philip
guy,
Stone.
That's
okay. Let's get into the dialogue here.
What he just said. He's telling him, "You've always been here. You've always been the caretaker." And that's what's going into my theory.
Where he was there in 1920 and he's there again back in 1980.
The picture. Literally, the first thing he says is, "This place is calling me." It's like, I've always been here. The whole evil hotel is literally telling him, "You've always been the caretaker. I'm not the caretaker." And he's warning him about like his power has. He's telling him his son's got powers, and he's trying to bringing an outside force into this situation, which is Jack Nicholson knows subconsciously is like, I'm about to kill my family, which is what they're not saying, what they are saying at the same time, because that's the old guy that yeah.
Racism is evil.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a bad word. They
Yeah.
said it twice.
And they're saying it like to each other, the N word.
Dude, they said it
And
three
I think-
times.
And this is in the late 70s too, obviously a bad word, but like I think they're just using it to emphasize the evil that is him and Jack at the same time. So that's why I think they used it like almost not as like as a because people were racist back then. It's like easier to use that term.
According to him, Grady, Jack is entirely unaware of The Shining, so that pokes a hole in your theory there.
Yeah, how he does have it. Yeah.
Wait, I'm still listening to the dialogue.
The dude.
Your son has a great talent.
You're
the
not
dude.
aware
How much?
He's even telling him.
He says he's not aware of the extent of his talent.
Right.
Not that he doesn't have it.
See, but he's like surprised and confused. See, Jack doesn't really have any connection to The Shining.
Yeah,
but
if he did,
he would know. If he was,
he would have he'd be talking to his kid already.
Yeah.
The way the grandma was talking to the grandchild.
Yeah.
Not some stranger the kid meets in 2 seconds and he's immediately talking to him, Shining.
Right. He goes and blames his mother.
Coddles him. And he's like evil. And the way he does play it is like comedically evil.
Yeah. Talking to you. I agree. I think this is what makes it so sinister.
If you mind my saying so.
Is the way he's like so polite, but also so sinister.
Yeah. And I like how he literally tells the evil ghost, hey, you're that evil ghost that killed his family. He's like, I don't remember that. And then like the 180 switch is when he flips around and he's like, oh. And that's when he just switch around on him. And he admits what the situation is and what's going on. And he just stops the...
Right. I corrected them.
Yeah.
He corrected
the nicest way I've ever heard of saying chop someone up into bits
chop
with
up his
an axe.
family with an axe, yeah. Okay, let's go back to this guy real quick. Philip Stone also played in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. He plays Captain Blumbert.
Oh, nice.
He was in Clockwork Orange, I believe, as the dad who was in that... I think it was in the scene where he was like tied up and saw his family getting like brutalized. And also in Barry Lyndon.
He was that guy?
Yeah.
The old guy in the chair?
No, I think he was a dad.
Oh.
And then he also was in Barry Lyndon, although I don't know what...
one of the few guys that three-peat for Kubrick.
Right.
And now Wendy's making her escape plan here. So
back to the scene, yeah.
She's immediately like, I'm out of here. At least she's smart enough to do that.
Yeah, but like I said, they both comment on her resourcefulness, or they will in a second.
Well, not her, his, the kids.
No, they talk about her resourcefulness as well.
Oh.
They will in a minute. Sorry, jumping ahead a bit.
Oh.
And yes, Clockwork Orange. And also in
Flash
Flash
Gordon.
Gordon.
Who are you talking about? Philip Stone?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what else?
Flash Gordon.
Oh.
That's, like 60s or...
1984 or something.
Oh, sorry.
And this kid's voice, Rad Ram.
Rad Ram. He's like a little robot.
Yeah, he does sound like a robot.
Well, he's totally retreated behind the
and then
the Tony personality right now.
Yeah, he even says it. He's like, Tony's not even around anymore. And it's like, no, Tony's like, hello, red rum, murder.
Murder.
He has to spell it out for her literally later. and he is protecting Danny and his mom at the same time.
Really?
Wait,
Yeah,
who's that? Jack is?
Tony.
Oh, Tony.
And then he even says it. He's like, he references her as like, he's like, I'm a different person, Mrs. Torrance.
Yeah.
And what the movie, I think, wants you to believe is that Tony is an evil manifestation of the hotel as well.
No.
Taking over him.
No.
I don't think so.
Oh.
Because he had Tony before. Remember when there was an interview with the psychiatrist lady? Tony.
Yeah,
was
but it could also be the hotel
before.
Calling the evil back.
No, the psychologist tries to paint it as maybe possibly being malevolent, but the way it's played out, it's more like a warning system for Tony.
Well, I know that is what it is. I'm saying it could be portrayed as, if you're watching the movie, you'd be like, it's a possibility that this evil is taking over the little kid at the same time because he's literally acting like a psychopath at the worst possible time for his mom because his dad has gone completely over the edge.
A defense mechanism, though.
The what?
The way it's portrayed is always as a defense mechanism.
Here's a question, guys. If we not rewind, but if we go back a scene where he is in the party, do you think that this is what he actually sees?
What's that code, Jimmy?
What, 80 KDK1 and KDK12 or whatever?
Oh yeah, you said it.
No, do you think that party in the scene, that party, is that like actually happening that he engages in? Or do you think it's part of some crazy dream or schizophrenic state that he's like just, it's all in his head? Or both?
I thought it was in his mind.
Anyway.
He's not really drinking unless it is the evil manifestation, like becoming reality, the way the girl choked the kid out. Maybe they really are. Well,
remember,
the hotel,
the supernatural is there. Remember,
the hotel can't
Grady
interact with the real world.
Grady lets him out.
So he lets him
freezer,
out.
Right, so we know that.
They put the key in the door. He's probably drunk, either with rage or insanity or anything, alcohol, maybe.
Numerology time. So KDK12 to KDK1 is 12 minus 1.
Yeah.
Room 237. 237 adds up to 12. 12 minus 1 equals 11.
Apollo 11?
Apollo 11?
Yeah. And Danny was already wearing the Apollo 11 jumper earlier.
Who was?
Danny, remember?
He has a little Apollo 11 sweater.
He had the Apollo 11 sweater.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Stanley, I told you the moon landing is fake.
It's all in there, man. All the proof is in
Hashtag
there.
I mean, it's all in there,
fake
but
moon landing.
it could just be people looking for things.
A little much of a coincidence now.
Halloran is showing some resourcefulness here.
8 a.m. Screenshot, or now it's the scene. Okay, the scene where now it shows a Continental airplane and Halloran. Again, he's on the path. Now he's on like the little route, and he's like, okay, let me go and figure out what's gonna happen. I think he's gonna try and save the kid because he sees or he feels that something is like going on. He knows that Jack is just out of his damn mind.
Oh yeah, he can feel him. He can already know. He's got the Force Highlander power.
The Force, the Highlander, tuning from Dark City.
Yeah,
they every single like telepathy power.
Yeah, he's got Xavier's Jean Grey power.
No, so Xavier. What did he use?
He starts phoenixing right now.
What does Xavier use? The mental machine.
Oh, the Cerebro. Yeah. He has built-in Cerebro. He's going to save Danny right now. He knows the clock's ticking.
Every single telepathy power known to man, and he's on a little airplane.
So another.
Well, they tried calling the hotel. The lady didn't answer.
The ranger station couldn't get him.
The ranger station couldn't get him. He took the fuses
he took the fuse
of the
boxes
radio
out
box.
of the little the CB radio.
Right.
Yeah, so they're out of shit luck with communication right now.
Okay,
phone lines are down because of this because of the snowstorm that's been going on.
We're at the scene where the airplane is landing
for the past few days.
Like on this heavily.
Mr. Scatman is making his way to Colorado or wherever they are
on like a snow tarmac or whatever.
Kubrick is cursed with airlines or airports.
No, I think he hated airports, didn't he?
Yeah, but let me get to the curse in a second because
or even flying.
In 2001, A Space Odyssey, Dr. Haywood Floyd is on his way to the space station on a Pan Am flight. Of course, Pan Am doesn't exist anymore. Correct? As far as I know.
So why, is it from a different dimension or something?
Now here, he's at Stapleton Airport. Stapleton Airport closed in 1995. And now the only thing that's left at Stapleton Airport now is the tower. They left the tower, the flight control tower there, and it's part of the Punch Bowl Social Restaurant.
What the beep?
What does that mean?
So what is that? He has bad luck. I mean, it's just like the never-ending curse. This kind of like negative stigma with all his airline.
Yeah. So I'm surprised Continental's still in business.
Funny. Dude, this guy that Halloran is on the phone with, Durkin, I think that's his name. He's the shop owner. Dude, this guy is Rocky's body guy. He's his trainer. He trained Rocky.
In real life?
Creed. In the movie.
Oh, in the movie?
Funny enough, I think he was actually like an amateur boxer in real life.
All right. So
you don't recognize him? That's Rocky's guy, man. He's always like in the corner.
He's got one scene in this movie.
Dude, you don't remember all the Rocky films? He was in Rocky 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
Okay,
so we're gonna get to that. Are we gonna get around to doing a Rocky at some point?
Yes, we will. Well,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
We have to do at least the first one.
Oh, but trivia: Rocky 2 was actually made use of Steadicam, and the inventor of the Steadicam, inventor and operator Gordon Brown, was working on The Shining, and because The Shining went on so long, he actually had to fly back to Philadelphia on the Concorde, to the United States on the Concorde, to use the Steadicam filming Rocky 2.
What?
Yeah. There's so many delays because The Shining took like almost a year to film. It was ridiculous because Kubrick.
Well, yeah. Again, Kubrick is like a freak with his shots, man.
Right.
He's not just with his shots, but with the amount it takes. I mean, I told you he was infamous with making people just redo the same scene over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Let me just see if I have a little bit of trivia here. There was a shot in this movie, or a scene in this movie, where they're in the kitchen, and I think it might be the one. It might be the one where Doc is talking to Halloran, and it went through 88 takes, right?
Just 88?
Yeah, just 88.
So we got that one relatively quickly.
Right. And that's just an example of like how sick Kubrick is. Just like, I'm going to wear you guys out until you come out and think outside the box for your acting and your role in this, not just the movie, but the scene, right? So, like I said, there's various other parts of the movie where it's like the 20th plus take. And he just makes them do it over and over and over until he says, okay, you know what? This one might work. And then he, at the end, pieces it all together.
Right. Picks the one he likes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Noticeably, when Halloran was driving along to the hotel, he drove by a car wreck.
Oh, is that a little...
bit of foreshadowing. And also just explains how dangerous...
Dude, who hit the bison? Johnny Walker.
Don't turn
again?
it down.
Jeez.
I didn't know it was there.
Yeah. Pay attention, man. You've got to...
Oh, now she's smoking in front of her kid.
Yeah.
Is that scene?
She's also stressed out.
Dude, secondhand smoke is good for you, according to the 70s. Even for kids.
So is faking the moon landing, apparently.
Well,
yes.
Laramie cigarettes have...
Well, that still stands true today.
That's not good for anybody.
Flavor particles that go to your Q zone.
For shame, Stanley Kubrick. For shame.
Dude, another red shirt.
Yeah.
And a red towel that Danny's eating, or a little red
checkered cloth.
Yeah, cloth.
That's brown.
Dude, you're colorblind.
The chocolate milk's red.
Chocolate milk.
The cloth is kind of reddish.
Okay. We're at the scene now where Wendy's walking through with a bat. Kudos to Wendy. And kind of just looking for Jack.
Realizes what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, she has like a wooden bat.
She's like, okay. I need
good for her. Kind of creeping along. And she's calling for him. I guess she's trying to like assess the situation, like how much of a schizophrenic state he's in, or how much of a bipolar asshole he's being, or whatever the case. She's kind of like on the lookout, like, okay, let me see.
Well, her plan is to get out of Dodge, rightfully so.
Get the F out of Dodge, right? Yeah. Now I don't know if she wants to. I don't know if she wants to necessarily take him, or I guess she's trying to assess, like, hey, how quickly should I get out of here if I need to get out of here?
She's making sure that if he resists her leaving, that she has something to deal with.
Here's my bat.
She's like, I'm gonna leave, and he's gonna be like, no, and then she's gonna have to stop him, which is what happens.
Take a swing at you.
So she's right, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, she wants to get out and take Danny to a doctor.
Poor little Wendy took a turn from being like just the.
If you're not gonna let me leave, then I'm just gonna hit you until I leave.
Stephen King thought she wasn't that great because she actually, as a character, she grows a lot from being kind of like a sort of just a passive character to being much more active and. You
say Stephen King or Stanley Kubrick?
He's comparing it to he's comparing it to the character he already created, which initially is already strong and resisting the hotel and her husband and helping her son at the same time, which is opposite, or not opposite, which is very different from what
different arc here, but.
Very different from the way she's portrayed in the movie.
I do appreciate the character.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like, it's not. Of course he doesn't like it because it's different. It's not the thing he wrote. Yeah. It's like,
well, yeah.
Of
So
course
much
you want to portray the way you wrote it.
He made his own in 1997.
Yeah.
Like, did you notice the page she was reading? There were a lot of typos in it.
Yes, there are typos in like this, and this
manuscript.
Right in the manuscript.
Just another one of those ways it was done by hand, but also it's full of typos. It's great. I love it. It's also formatted differently by pages.
It's all crazy. I mean,
as if you're actually writing something.
Right. Just right there.
Dude,
that whole box of paper is all.
This is what schizophrenics do. I'm not kidding.
It's great. I mean,
and then if she doesn't show 5 pages, she shows like 20 pages, dude. Right. Like literally for like a minute, we're sitting here on one scene.
But apparently, that whole box is.
Yeah. And this part wasn't even. I don't think this was in the movie or in the book. Like this is another one of those scenes. There's.
Kubrick just added in.
Kubrick is just like making a movie.
Yeah.
All right, now we got the first person point of view where Jack is now approaching Wendy, as she's kind of sorting through his like psychotic
And this is,
ramblings
like,
of his
iconic,
manuscript.
like horror, like you see the person what they're
Dude,
typing.
this reminds me of Halloween.
The Simpsons and everything. Yeah.
Also, numerology time. All work and no play. All A11, Apollo 11.
No way.
Apollo 11 work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Wow.
It's all a work and it's a and no play.
Yeah, Apollo 11.
A11.
It's not a play. It's not a play that happened. It was all work.
All is Apollo 11.
A11. Yeah.
Dude, I told you.
I don't like this theory.
Fake. No, it's
It
not
adds
a theory.
up.
It's a truth. It's a truth with a capital F.
No way, dude. Moon landing. If we didn't go to the moon, then we didn't do shit.
Dude,
I
that
don't
was
believe in
so
America
fake.
anymore.
It was a space race.
Don't break my American dream.
It was a space
of hot dogs
race.
and fireworks.
And why haven't we been back? Why haven't we?
We're
Our
going
technology's been improved for what, over 50
He's like, so you
years?
know I'm crazy.
He's like, you caught me.
Don't worry. Elon Musk is taking us back to the moon.
Right.
So what do you want to talk about? And she's like,
basically shivering at this point.
No, never mind. I forgot about what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. And he's like, you read my story.
You read my story.
You read my crazy.
Yeah, she's basically backing up now.
She's out.
And like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now we got the boy here who's like, can he see what's going on? He can like tell what's going on.
He's hearing the conversation.
Well, from
Yeah.
The Shining,
feeling their feelings.
what Scatman said is he sees from
I'm
things
the
before.
Scatman.
Yeah, things before, things from the future.
Yeah.
Okay, now we got, again,
And then right now he's literally
red rum
seeing what's happening.
and blood just flowing all over the elevators and hallway.
All right.
And what was that actually made out of? The blood? It was like juice or something like that?
I don't know.
I do know that apparently Stanley Kubrick told everyone that when he put it in the trailer, that it was rusty water.
Rusty water, really?
Because
not blood?
Because you couldn't show it in the trailers at the time.
Yeah, too much.
Huh.
Yeah.
And this,
off,
so like what I realized earlier from watching this is like Jim Carrey gets a lot from this movie.
Yeah, he really
and I'm
does.
not the only one. There's like things on YouTube that have like that I after I already realized that myself. I went to YouTube and it popped up like immediately. It was like the comparisons, and I was like, wow, there is a lot.
Yeah,
and that's why
Jack
is so
is basically mocking her now.
yeah, and it is like so comedic, and it's
just mimicking
just
her.
the way he's doing it is like because it's like so over the top.
And
it becomes
Exaggerated
comedic to
emotions
me.
and vocal terms. Yeah.
But at certain points when I did watch it earlier, younger in life, I was definitely like way more creeped out. But this whole scene right here, it just makes me laugh nowadays.
Yeah.
Dude, it's funny because he's just like mocking her.
Yeah.
And this poor girl, this actress, shared while she was acting her ass off throughout this whole movie.
Yeah.
And like apparently her and Stanley Kubrick didn't get along.
Yeah, I thought
He
there was
was
like a
giving her-
disruptive relationship between her and
giving
Stanley Kubrick.
And that might have been just part of the process to make her more distraught,
But
to actually
I don't think she
enhance her
appreciated
acting.
that. I don't think she
He
wanted that.
complimented her later on the performance she gave.
Well, of course,
After the
afterwards.
fact,
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that was part of his shtick was to him to be the Jack character towards her in real life to get that performance to like eke it out of her and then recognize it after the fact.
Yeah.
And then she is like honestly, I think she does outact Jack Nicholson in this movie.
Oh,
because
really?
I think she does because Jack Nicholson is so.
I think they complement each other.
He is just like
I
Jack
think
Nicholson, and then
it's just him being him.
Yeah, and then it seems like a lot. It seems like it's easy for him, like throughout this movie, you know. At least that's the feeling I get.
Dude.
And then she's like literally fucking falling apart throughout the whole time, and that's got to be daunting.
Like, yeah.
And it is from the making of that I saw it.
didn't
It
even-
was harsh on
Ran
her.
out of tears. She had to drink a lot of water to keep hydrated. Because
And like her hair was
What?
falling out or something
Yeah,
like
she
that. She
suffered
was like pulling out
hair
hair,
loss.
like clumps of hair because of the stress that it was causing her,
Yeah.
and like all this
They
stuff.
didn't even tell Danny that it was a horror film. They
Yeah,
just had
yeah.
him play separate segments.
It makes sense when you watch this movie. It's like he isn't involved in that horror activity. Even the strangles like part in their neck, like they don't show that part. Like it's just red marks on his neck, so he's not really involved in a lot of the
Right.
intense
Like-
moments.
Bash your brains in.
All right,
gonna
we're at
hurt
the
you.
scene
Right
Yeah.
the fuck in.
where he's basically threatening her life,
Yeah.
telling her what he's gonna do in the future.
So nonchalantly, I'm just gonna bash
I'm
your
gonna
brains
bash
in.
her brains in. She's swinging the bat. He's trying to grab it, and at
Yeah.
some point here, she's gonna knock him on the head. It's gonna.
Right.
It's coming up.
He's trying to talk to her.
I heard
She's
this
like-
scene also took a long time too, right? Isn't that right, Johnny Walker? You said it took like
Yeah,
maybe like
yeah.
a day just for this one
Dude,
bat swinging scene.
I think it's in the Guinness Book of World Records for like one of the longest takes or something. It was like
Stanley Kubrick being an asshole. And
127 takes for them to get this bat swinging take, and I think it made the Guinness Book of World Records. Yeah. Wendy, come on!
And she got his hand, and she got his head.
After I love the fact after she got the hand, she's like, "All right, shit, this is it," and then she immediately went for the head right after.
Yeah, so he's actually not very good at this yet. You think about it, he hasn't done anything. He's been kind of menacing, and then he immediately gets laid out.
No, the ghosts even tell him that. They're like, "Are you even? Can you even do it? Can you even handle this job? Being crazy? Bro? Yeah. Can you even crazy,
you're
bro?
Good at being crazy by yourself, but we need you to be crazy to chop up your family."
But he gets locked in the pantry, or no, the pantry. Right?
What is that? A freezer room or something? Or
the pantry? Yeah.
Okay.
Not the fridge. I thought it was the fridge at first, but the fridge was the room with all the meat.
And yeah, so she's dragging him basically to the little pantry room where she can lock him in. And this is kind of where, again, the supernatural, this is like the first really solid piece of evidence in the film where supernatural comes to life and says, okay, Jack, you are trapped. We're going to help you out, kill your family, and let you out of this room.
And it takes her a second to figure out how to work the lock here.
I mean, she's also freaking out, right? I mean, she's probably like just
that's why
out of her. She's probably crazy herself at this point.
Full on panic. She figures out pull pin, remove handle. Yeah. Get him out. So that's also the thing that kind of implies it has to be supernatural intervention because it takes a lot of effort to unlock the door.
Well, just the pin specifically.
Yeah.
And to unlock, to pull it all the way out.
He's coming in and out. He's like, where are you taking me?
The point being, you can't possibly unlock it from the inside.
Yeah, he's locked in, dude. And he's locked out. I mean,
and she just shut the door on him, and
the ghost tells him, "I'm letting you out."
Yeah, Grady.
Yeah,
he's got a bum ankle because he fell on the stairs.
Dude, that would suck. Getting hit in the head with a bat and spraining your ankle right after.
Yeah, she put the pin back in. You can see clearly.
Yeah.
Right, so he's locked in there. Like that's like,
yep,
clear.
He's in there, and she arms herself.
Now she pulls a Michael Myers. Or no. Yeah. She pulls a Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
Or no.
Michael, both of them. Yeah.
Both of them, right?
Yeah. Well, wouldn't it be Mama Myers?
Yeah,
no.
Mama Myers.
No, Mama Voorhees.
Mama Voorhees, yeah.
And Michael Myers.
Michael Myers, yeah.
Yeah. And he's trying to talk his way out of it, not successfully.
Yeah, at this point, Jack is like, look, I'll forget about everything. And she's still sobbing. Again, this is one of the scenes where Kubrick just took an enormous amount of time to just take and take and take. And again, it's really in an effort to break them out of that mold, to just try and get them to act either erratically or just, a little different than how the first few takes would have been. So
what was?
The scene where he's locked in the pantry here.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the making of the short documentary about this?
Not so much
behind the scenes.
Where
it shows them it literally shows them making the scene.
So the Blu-ray disc does have some bonus footage, but I don't know if it has that making.
There's like a 20-minute documentary. It's on YouTube, but it literally goes through the scene and it shows Stanley Kubrick like ducking under Jack Nicholson, like looking up at him.
I haven't
like
seen
getting
that.
the angles.
Yeah,
and like literally he's the only like when he's speaking to her in one of the earlier shots, like behind the scenes, like. Mm-hmm. It's literally the movie behind watching the movie being made. Yeah. Like the same scenes that are what we're watching right now. And then like he shows him, he's like,
yeah, this is a cool shot.
The angle that he's
down,
at.
Like looking at his psychotic
the angle that he's at.
face.
Like when he was saying it originally, he was like saying it to the door. But since he's at this angle, he's like, just look down. He's like, don't speak at her. He's like, speak towards me, towards the camera. Yeah. So that's why you can actually see his crazy face. Because he's not like facing the door, he's facing down like towards the camera, like at Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
As they're recording the shot.
Yeah. She should have put the padlock on.
Never.
See how he's like just facing down.
Yeah.
So you can like get the craziness.
Oh yeah, no, I feel crazy myself just watching him like taunt her.
Yeah.
And he's like, check it out.
I took the fuses out. He's like, I fucked
messed
up
the snowcat,
your bobcat or whatever it is, your snowcat.
And I believe it's the distributor cap.
Dude.
Connects the spark plug to the wires to the
I don't know.
So it's just like mountains of snow that she just walked out into. I don't know how she's not freezing, but I guess she doesn't care. She just wants to go make sure if she can get out with that snowcat.
So it will be a point later, the snow.
At the end?
Yeah. So apparently at some point Jack actually has wandered outside the hotel to do this. Off screen.
Well, they showed him, yeah. He's been preparing, yeah. Well, they spent the night there when she shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Because they woke up the next day, and then she's like, okay, I'm going to leave. Well, she was thinking about it the night before.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can't really repair that easily because he cut the wires.
Yeah, that thing's not going to work.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't got time to fix this.
I don't think there's an auto zone down the street either.
Get some skis, girl.
Yeah. Ski on down the mountain.
Ski on down that mountain.
Okay, 4 p.m. They're at the 4 p.m. mark
Time
now.
is winding down fast.
Yeah, the cuts have become more and more compressed.
Yeah.
It was, a month.
Months,
Tuesday,
days to
hours.
literally the time.
And
And it's like a count. Yeah, it's like a countdown.
Again, like a countdown for a moon launch.
Ah, no.
yes! Yes!
I refuse to believe.
Yeah.
Dude, don't open up your mind.
Haven't you seen the X-Files, man? I want to believe.
No, I don't want to believe in aliens. Fake. I want to believe it's real.
Dude, it's so fake. Come on.
Nah.
Yeah.
Okay, what about is he eating space food? Is that what he's been munching on? What's the thing there?
No,
Actually, the 39,000 right
What's
there.
the symbolism? He's
Right
got
there.
a beer there. What is
No.
that? That looks like a 40.
No, that box right there, 39.
No,
30?
up to the right. Whatever he's drinking. What is that? Vinegar? What is he drinking?
Looks like a 40. Steel
Yeah.
Reserve.
I'm saying no alcohol there though. But look, that's a clearly open bottle of something that he's been drinking out of.
probably apple juice.
Oh, yeah, it's probably apple juice.
True.
So what about the 39,000?
That's
It's
also a
vinegar.
reference to I forget. I don't know if that was like the landing pad or some crap.
Oh,
That
what?
39. Yeah, the 39 on the box.
Oh god damn it.
Yeah, it's reference to like one of the pads or something. All the numbers have some significance.
I
to the
know, that's
fake-
what the whole movie's
to the
about.
fake moon
237 movie's about.
Yeah.
Which I only watched part of because I was like, whatever. But
Oh, you like the documentary? You mean?
yeah.
There's not whatever. It's real.
No.
Huh.
I guess I have to finish it.
Okay, now he's talking to Grady through the door,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hey, man, you didn't finish our
He's
business."
like, whoa.
Not for retail sale.
No need to rub it in, Mr. Grady.
Although conspicuous to that, there it is up top. Tang.
Tang is the like the little fruit punch juice that was promoted in some of the
astronauts
commercials. Yeah, the astronauts like commercial way back in during the fake moon landing era.
Oh, the astronaut drank Tang?
Yeah, that was like the thing. That was like the big promotion. You see, Tang is
Oh.
clearly visible right above behind Jack's head in this scene.
No, that
It's
could
right
be
there.
anything.
No, it's Tang. It's that same thing. It's the green with the
There's
orange
no
in the
T.
middle.
There's
No,
no
that's it.
A.
No,
You
that's right
notice,
there.
tellingly enough, it's the only one where the brand name is not clearly visible. Every other brand name you can see.
No, what's the gourmet? What is that?
What gourmet?
Powder? What is that? Something met powder? What is that?
Calumet. They showed it earlier.
Oh yeah, it is all spelled out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the frame.
But Tang was the one that was
Oreo,
promoted.
Heinz ketchup,
Yeah,
peaches.
Golden Ray, everything
Except for Tang.
except for Tang. And Tang was the commercial thing for the fake moon landing.
No.
Yes, I swear to
Tang-
God, I'm
yeah,
not
Tang
kidding.
was the-
You're shaking me out of the movie.
Dude, I'm not joking. I swear.
Well, this whole scene that's been going on, Gary's been literally giving shit to Jack about how he
Grady, you drunk ass.
Grady is giving shit to Jack how he can't even handle killing his family. And he's like, all right, I can let you out. I have the power. And he's like, yeah, give me one more chance. I can do it. Blah, 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 blah.
It's like the overt supernatural aspect.
Funny.
It's the only like reasonable explanation.
What are we talking about? What's the other explanation?
What?
Well, if you were going to make the argument that it was in people's heads, that it kind of falls apart at this point of the movie because
That's what I'm saying. There's no point. It's pretty evident that the movie's been literally telling you that the hotel is evil. So it's
Yeah.
like, why wouldn't it is in the books and in the other adaptation?
So it's not so
the
much.
hotel
yeah, no,
is clearly an evil presence in
no,
interacting with the characters physically. Like it's not a question. It's like it literally is.
Yeah, I think
So
I asked that one.
It is in the movie too.
hypothetical.
Yeah,
Earlier in the podcast.
it's just something that he didn't adapt on very clearly in this movie.
Yeah.
Except besides that one,
just-
that one major point.
well, supernatural is just a little more subtle than Stephen King's known, I guess, for his overt supernatural themes because he writes horror novels.
That's what he does.
So
That's
this Kubrick's
what he
adaptation
does.
is a little more grounded, but all those elements are still there. Just albeit in
We're at
more
the scene
subdued
now.
form.
Well, yeah, I'm saying there's no denying that the goats let him out of the freezer.
We're at the scene where Holland is just driving through with his windshield wipers on. This like
Yeah.
tremendous torrential snowstorm.
Right.
Trying to get to the house again, just all in an effort to
Going
try to get to this kid.
going through the snow.
Yeah.
He knows it's coming.
You can see
Dude,
the
I
dicks
don't know.
coming.
I guess he's tied to
Even,
the
like-
kid because of the whole shine ability.
He could even
Right.
be doing it like because like how he says he can see before and during and after. Like he could just be telling He could be sacrificing himself to save the kid, like knowing that Jack is gonna kill him.
I don't know.
I think it's just he's on the way because Danny called him pretty much.
Right.
Danny's
but I don't think he's like gonna. I don't think he wants to go sacrifice himself.
I mean that could be a possibility.
Right. I don't think he saw that
because of what he said earlier about things
Danny
from the future, things from the past.
Right. Danny didn't witness Dick getting killed, right?
Who?
Danny didn't witness that. No one witnessed Dick getting killed except Jack.
He's witnessing bloods flowing from the elevator.
Right, but there's a whole lot of blood spilled in the Overlook.
That's a good sign.
But there's been a lot of blood spilled to the Overlook. That's kind of the thing.
And there's about to be more.
Yeah.
Until damn TV. Tony gets involved and is like, hey, and he's saying murder backwards and he spells it out for her in the mirror specifically. It shows up and she realizes it, and then he's screaming murder at the family.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, get out of there, please.
Also, Red Rum was the name of a horse who won several championships in England in the 70s. So really? Fun fact. Before it was murder backwards, it was also the name of a horse. Racing horse.
Wait, so that horse... horse's name came first?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. When was the book was written right before the movie, right?
I think it was 77.
Yeah, it came out like a year or two right before the movie. Yeah. And then he liked it so much, that's where then they got the rights to it, and then they made it, and that's when
Yeah, published in 1977.
And I like how and he was quick on it too. Like imagine a book being published today and then having literally a year or two later they're adapting it into a movie, and then it's such an iconic movie and book at that time. It's pretty awesome for both of them to come out relatively at the same time.
Yeah, within 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. Same thing with 2001. How he worked with what's his R.C. Clarke?
Yeah.
And the book at the same time as the movie.
Right. Those are actually kind of written in tandem.
Yeah.
Mirror.
And she just saw murder written in the mirror.
Oh shit, murder! Yeah. Damn, I better leave.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, we're at the scene where the axe is now being...
apparently, initially, they built a prop door, but Jack tore it down too easily, so they had to make a stronger door for him to act.
Dude, this scene is so...
Because Jack Nicholson, he's not acting.
Now, you'll notice here, he's being real.
Just being
his real schizophrenic self.
They're just recording Jack Nicholson.
Apparently, he was also a volunteer fire marshal at one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, he knows how to break down a door.
Wait, say that again, Jay? Javier?
He was a volunteer fire marshal at one time.
Volunteer fire marshal?
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson was.
I love this, how the camera follows the axe, and it just gives that much more emphasis.
Look. Oh wait, never mind.
What? So they're in this. She's trying to get out in this mountain of snow, and Jack is still going. And he doesn't do it in this scene, but in the next scene, or in the next door,
I'm home.
He pays tribute to Johnny Carson. And I think that was a completely just his own little...
That was improvised by Nicholson.
That was improv.
Yeah, that's his ad-libbing, yeah.
Stanley Kubrick was living in England at the time, so he didn't watch The Tonight Show.
He was probably like,
he didn't get the reference.
Right. I think they almost cut it out, right?
Right.
Until he realized that, this is...
Significance.
Yeah.
It has significance.
Man, Stanley Kubrick...
You could fit through. Come on, lady.
Really made use of his sound
If
effects.
olive oil can't fit through a bathroom window, then I don't know who could.
Just Danny. And he's also going this whole weird thing. He's doing the come out like fairy tales, and then the little pigs. It's like comedic and creepy. Then I think a lot of movies before since have kind of overused that little kitty thing, trying to sound sinister. But it kind of works in this. It works in this context.
He's knocking on the door, let me in.
Partly because of his nuttiness.
She's basically stuck, and she's telling Danny to just run.
Run into the hedge maze.
Run.
Get out of here, Danny.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Don't freeze to death.
That fake snow, it was all fake snow because it was actually filmed in England on a soundstage.
Yeah.
Dude, England.
900 tons of...
Wasn't it dairy salt?
It was
salt. Crushed polystyrene and salt.
Yeah. What is it?
Crushed polystyrene and dairy salt.
And dairy salt, yeah.
Rock salt too. But yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Tons and tons of it. Some of it apparently got reused for the planet Hoth in Empire Strikes Back.
Hey guys,
cool.
Can we...
Which is odd because...
Can we go back a scene, guys? I think I missed something.
What?
I think I missed something. did it already happen where Wendy walks through and sees someone dressed up like in a dog suit?
Nope.
No,
that
that's
hasn't
later.
happened
She
yet.
hasn't gone
Okay,
to
so
the
I'll
horror house
wait.
yet.
I'll wait.
You're not
Yeah.
there yet. Yeah.
So anyway, Jack is about to do the infamous.
And then
Johnny.
this scene in particular is when behind the scenes when she's like freaking out about the scene. She's like, I'm too stressed and blah blah. And then
this is what kind of drove her over the board. Like
this is one of the scenes. Yeah, they're literally shooting this scene, and then Stanley Kubrick's and she's like pulling hair out of her head.
Here's Johnny. Dude, this is awesome.
I love how his head fits perfectly in between the fucking broken door.
And she just slit his wrist. Oh.
But yeah, in the making of like, he's literally like, pay no mind to Shelly. He's like, just leave her. Like she's like telling everybody that she's fucking stressed out of shit, and he's like, no.
Yeah, you're fine.
He's like, just leave her alone.
You'll walk it off.
Yeah, walk it off, lady. And I really do think it was just like how method actors do the thing where like, oh, don't call me by another name or don't call me out of character or something like that. I think it's just him just pushing his actors like above and beyond, or it could have been part of it.
That's one of his tactics. He's like I said,
like a Hitchcock thing where he just like he's like berating you and destroying you, but he's doing it for your performance, so it makes it shines through. And she's
shines through,
and it's literally the same thing. The way Jack treats her, he just treats her like shit. So he's like,
he hears a snowcat.
If he's gonna do that same thing in real life, and that's how she's gonna react.
Actually, Dick did save them because since he hears a snowcat, it stops Jack's
hollering.
Yeah, he was literally about to come in. He cut.
True.
He cut her
well,
hand.
he saves her at least because the little boy already ran out through the little window.
Yeah.
And now he's running through the hallways.
Right. Back again. Once again, Danny framed and zoomed in, and now he's gonna hide from velociraptors.
Yeah, as in Jurassic Park, where they hide in the little
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So Spielberg stole it from Stanley Kubrick.
Well, apparently Spielberg and Kubrick were good friends.
So he stole it from Kubrick for Jurassic Park.
He's like, hey, buddy.
So in this scene, Jack is portrayed as a velociraptor.
Limping through.
Danny is a hacker.
All right. So Wendy is freaking out.
Yeah.
Oh, clever
She's
girl.
like,
That's one of the lines.
From Jurassic Park. Yeah.
She's like, okay, couple seconds. It's free. It's quiet.
Yeah, she's trying to stab the doorknob. Not sure what she's
and
doing.
this guy has terrible hearing.
Hollering.
Well, he's already kind of done his.
He's old.
He's done his thing. He stopped Jack from immediately attacking, and he's brought the means of their deliverance, their escape.
Yeah, I mean, he did his job. He saved them.
Yeah, not directly.
Not directly.
Not a big damn hero's moment, but he was a.
I like to think the Shining had something to do with it. If he's got shining power.
What? So you're saying he knew he was gonna die?
Not knew he was gonna die, but he knew that it might be a possibility.
What?
I mean, if he knows what's going on, obviously something bad is going on. Then he knows what he's walking into. I would assume, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
That's why he's there in the first place, because he knows that something bad is gonna happen.
Right.
So he's prepared for that situation. I would hope.
Oh, I don't think he's prepared. He's about to get an axe to the goddamn stomach.
Well, not physically, but mentally.
Right.
So he's prepared to take an axe to the stomach?
I mean, he's walking into a madhouse, which I think he knew he's walking into.
And now he's openly calling, "Hey, anybody here?"
Yeah, he's hoping that it's not.
Right. He's hoping he doesn't find a bunch of dead bodies.
Yeah, exactly. But he's about to.
Yeah, he's about to be one of them.
Isn't how they described it earlier? Like the previous caretaker stacked up the bodies in the West Wing, then put a shotgun in his mouth.
Yeah. I mean, you have 5 months to kill your family.
Anybody here? Yeah, he's walking through.
Neat city cam use. This attracts him walking into the hotel.
Dude, only one of the chandeliers is lit. Why is that?
That's where he dies.
Oh, is that what it is?
He's walking to the light.
Walk to the light.
He's going towards the light, which is also towards the radio room.
Yeah.
Ground control
Dude,
to Major
Scatman.
Tom.
Yeah. I'm just.
It's all subtle symbolism, which is all anything ever can be.
Right.
He's just tiptoeing along until he's.
It is a long
an
shot.
Axe.
I don't even see him.
Through
Do
the
you see
gut.
him? He's hidden pretty well.
He's hiding.
Yeah.
And
I
here
would
he
like to ask you a question.
Yes.
Dude,
dude.
axe through his heart, actually.
He like gets him so good.
Dude, he doesn't even use like the sharp little end. He uses like the full axe end.
Dude,
Yeah.
he axed him.
And Danny can feel him too. I think Danny felt him dying.
Danny definitely.
He shined.
He shined. Well, yep.
He shined right through.
He's dead.
So
Fucker is dead.
Jack just punched his ticket here. He's damned for all eternity now.
So yeah, he did kill him right underneath the chandelier light. Yeah. That was lit.
Danny boy. All right.
And you heard him scream, so he gave away
his position. Now Jack is on the hunt. He sees Danny, and Danny's just
full Velociraptor mode.
Velociraptor. Yeah. Well, Jack is Velociraptor, and I guess Danny is a little girl.
Yeah.
And
then so this poor girl,
Wendy.
Wendy's
just kind of wandering around aimlessly.
This whole second half kind of gets me because she's literally just walking through a horror house.
Yeah, it's just a parade of horrors for her.
Yeah, and it is like a haunted house. So she's like, oh, one scary thing after another.
But you notice it starts up after he kills Dick.
Yeah.
It's like a blood ritual.
It was unleashed.
The blood to bring out the full crazy.
And then it's like, oh, we're manifesting ourselves now? Okay,
all right,
let's do it.
So here's a scene that I referenced where they got this guy or person in a dog suit.
Right.
On
it's somebody in a bear suit.
With the dude
with the butler.
Not a butler, like a...
rich guy.
Just a
rich
tuxedo guy.
Tux guy, yeah. So I never really understood this scene. Do you guys have any takes?
I think it's just to figure out.
Apparently, from the book, it was like this rich guy who this guy was in love with him. And he used to humiliate him to just make him do just things to him for his own pleasure because he was just torturing the guy who liked him.
Oh, in the book?
Yeah.
Oh, because he's in a rich hotel and you can't do those things?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like the evil manifestations of the hotel.
You can be wealthy and depraved.
Bring themselves up it feeds off of it or whatever. The hotel does. Because it was built on evil. It was built on the burial of dead Indians that the people slaughtered to take the land to build a hotel on. And it's like, it's like, you're going to literally steal my land and then build a hotel on my dead body? It's like, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'll conjure the evil spirit. And then, the spirit world. Indians,
we kind of missed it out, but there was a whole other theory where this whole thing was just an extended criticism of the American treatment of Native Americans.
Yeah. That, obviously, that too.
With all the motifs going around. The calumet, like baking powder, this guy in the Indian headdress.
Yeah.
Like all the Native American motifs throughout the hotel. And other clues. But it's not as much fun as talking about faking the moon landing.
Yes, correct. Now,
not as fun, yeah.
Right now, we got the scene where
the fantastical is always funner.
Yeah. Through this maze, through the hedge maze.
Right, which he already knows. They've established that.
Yeah, he already.
Yeah, they already went through
it one time,
dad,
right?
with his mom.
With his mom.
Yeah.
Kind of implied they've done it more than once too, because they run it.
They've been there for a month or more than a month or so.
But Jack, not necessarily so much because he was inside being.
And they were talking about it. Yeah. So he's just like following the footsteps.
Yeah. And again, Danny uses the Native American trick of walking backwards in your tracks.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, say it again?
I didn't realize that. Covering your tracks.
Well, he did, He walks backwards and then,
And this is all Kubrick, too. Like, in the book, there's no maze. And
it's just hedge animals,
It's just hedge animals. Yeah, they protect the entering and leaving of the hotel. Right. And then in this one, there's a whole maze. And that's literally the climax of the movie. Right. And the backwards walking and all that, that's all Kubrick. Yeah. The ending's completely different.
But it makes it work for him though. But yeah, anyway, Danny's Wendy's parade of horrors is going to continue.
Yeah, she's like, oh shit, real body.
Yeah, she just found a dead dude, which is
fuck.
Yeah,
Halloran.
Yep, Halloran axe.
At least she's got the knife still.
Yeah.
In her robe.
Only gonna get worse for her though.
and it sucks too because and then who's this guy?
Apparently he's the owner.
What do you mean?
Great Party?
The guy who built the hotel.
Who says that?
I read it somewhere. I might be mistaken.
From the book or the movie?
Either one.
Oh.
But yeah, Danny.
So that's I would assume it was just other horrors. She's just witnessing the horrors that have been going on throughout the years of the hotel. Yeah. And then that's why he brought them all back to surface. Yeah. And that's why they're all showing themselves to her. Yeah. The dude in the hotel room. Yeah. That dude who
Great Party had massive head wound.
A dude in the party had a freaking looks like he was murdered. Yeah. Which they had never referenced ever before. So there's obviously other crazy things going on here. And then this whole party.
This whole dead party. Yeah,
dead man's party where she just stumbles in and sees a bunch of skeletons sitting around.
And then what's weird is she's like running around looking for her kid, but she's like just runs into one horrible thing after another.
Yeah,
and it's like
it's
it is just like a haunted house.
So now you see him.
It's a little hokey at the end for her at the end. I think if she could have seen those visuals a little more gradually throughout the film, I think it would have been a better.
But she has no shining, so it's all just manifested at the end there when Jack
unleashes it. Yeah,
with the blood. It's kind of like a blood ritual. I guess I don't know. Like I said, Jack punches ticket. That's that at that moment he's always been there, not before.
What, when he kills somebody?
Yeah.
And in this red room, look at this fucking red hallway.
Yeah, it's like all red.
It looks like it's clearly painted red. And then she's like, "Oh, is this the blood hallway? Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to see."
Oh, this is what I came for.
Yeah.
And we got the blood gushing out.
Did she like hear the elevator coming?
Yeah, this is troubling.
But yeah, I was trying to find out what it was made out of, but I couldn't get a clear answer.
Made of something.
Oh, I got my battery indicator.
Yep. Well, yeah. See, it's all right.
All right, so we got Danny Boy hiding on the other side of this hedge where his old man Jack is, and this is where Jack loses the trail. So he
backtracked like you said, old Indian trick is backtrack your steps, hide your trail, and then he's like totally drunk on rage and just insanity on anything, and then he said.
He's also losing the ability to speak because he's getting less and less vocal. He's just starting to make noises and yell a lot.
Yeah. And it's freaking cold as shit out there.
Yeah, I'm sure he's like freezing his tail off.
And he doesn't even care that he didn't have a jacket or anything.
Right. Danny's more or less bundled up, but yeah, he's not dressed for it adequately.
Yeah, he's got a couple sweaters on.
The way he's acting, you can tell it's starting to get cold.
Intense fear on the kid's face.
Yeah. Jack's chasing him about.
But yeah, and in this ending too, compared to the original and the other adaptation was, and it is all Kubrick and there was actually another ending that he shot towards the end that was released in theaters for like about a month or so, and then they actually took it out and edited it out where it was like a little bit of a prologue or epilogue having to do with Wendy and Danny in the aftermath of like and like somebody talking to him about what happened and all those other things, and then how they like went to go look at the hotel and nothing was there, so like
they couldn't find Jack's body or something.
They couldn't find Jack's body or anything, or a hallway full of blood or like anything that they think they saw.
Yeah.
But it actually was released in theaters for like a month or so, and then he cut it out because he just didn't like the flow of it. And I don't know if it was. I think it's online, but they said that the footage was like lost or something like that.
Well, yeah, Kubrick is notorious for that. When anything he doesn't like in his films, he'll destroy it because.
Yeah, he might as well. I mean, it's funny too because he's like meticulous about his presentation of what he wants for people to interpret his art or whatever. He's very specific about it,
right?
And it is blatant throughout all of his shootings, all of his movies.
Yeah. This thing to talk about too is like he destroyed everything he didn't reuse because, like a lot of the elaborate sets and props he built for 2001: A Space Odyssey, he had those destroyed immediately after filming.
Really?
Because he didn't want them popping up again in like some bad B movie, sci-fi movie.
Yeah, like He-Man or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Kubrick trip.
Yeah.
It's in He-Man now.
For example, say like
it's even more famous in He-Man than it is in Kubrick's 2001.
So he was like, none of that.
Unlike how, Stephen King I think surpasses it, but like how he takes other people's art and then enhances it to his own abilities and creates his own thing, his own art value project out of it, or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, he is protective of it in the way it's presented and the way his aspect ratios work and all that other stuff. I didn't really know that.
Yeah, he's very very meticulous.
Yeah,
nice way of putting it. Anyway, poor Jack's here. Not poor Jack. Just
and in the way and the way his movies are shot too.
Yeah,
the way it's a little more head on, and people nowadays try to make it more. He's all about subtlety, but
the funny thing is, I think he was known for his photography, like as being a perfectionist. Sometimes people called him first a photographer and then a cinematographer.
Yeah.
Or first photographer, cinematographer, and then second everything else, including being a magnificent director.
He was even in the behind the scenes. He's talking about the way the smoke, how much smoke is being like appeared, even in that scene.
Dude,
when
imagine
if
he would have had like his hands on an iPhone. He would have been like in love if he would have had that as a kid, and that would have been like his.
I know it sucks. I really wanted to see his AI because like his AI would have been completely different than what the hell the fucking Spielberg came up with.
He was still ahead of the curve, and he was still like a pioneer of his time with regard to
that too. With the going back to the sci-fi aspect of it, considering what happened, what you saw with 2001. Like, I wish he would have finished AI.
We're at the scene where now Jack is frozen. He's basically
really, it's a really sharp cut. Like he like sits down 1 second, and then the next second the movie's over.
Yeah, it jumps into like you're frozen.
We're in the end of the movie now.
Yeah, it definitely goes like from.
Well, I guess the end of the movie is when they start driving away and the smoke happens.
Yeah.
Oh, they're now panning into all the pictures on the wall.
Famous photograph here.
So
So here's what I'm saying.
Do you guys know the exact dates? Because
it's going to tell you in a second.
It says 1920 July 3rd. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's when.
I'm pretty sure the picture.
But that's when I should have wrote it down earlier. When the guy says that's when the hotel was opened.
See, I don't know. I can't remember.
That's when he says that's when they opened. So I think this is the opening ceremony of the hotel, is what the picture is referencing, and then that's him is the main caretaker of the hotel, and that's why
he's a guest here. Clearly, he's not an employee.
He's front and center, dude.
So he's clearly not an employee. And it's the
what do you mean?
That's actually a good point. I didn't think
Overlook
about that.
Hotel.
If it's the grand opening of his hotel, would he not be front and center of his grand
caretaker?
No, not the caretaker, but like the
owner.
The owner, yeah.
Well, the owner's not the caretaker. Let's put it that way.
True.
Very
true.
He's like a guest there. He's front and center. He might be the owner.
He's got the guy. He's got the girl next to him, and a friend that has his arm on his.
I'd always thought he was like a significant person in the manifestation or building of the original hotel, and that's why they show this date specifically. So maybe he is the caretaker, and he just happens to be front and center.
I will put it this way though. Overlook Hotel.
July 4th.
1921.
1921.
Yeah.
Jack's corpse is outside in the snow. You could say he's frozen in time.
Yeah. But and then it's so blatantly obvious the way he zooms in on his picture on the wall, and the way what's his name? Gardy? What's his name? Grady. He's like, he tells him, he's like, you've always been the one.
Always been the
caretaker. He was always there because time doesn't work the same as in the supernatural realm. Because once he killed Halloran, then he was in there.
Well, no,
I think he wasn't there before.
No, ever since the whole. Well,
he was always there after he killed Halloran.
No, my theory is that
if that makes any sense.
My theory is that he was the way Grady got called in, and that's why he's stuck there in that limbo hotel. Working there now, even though he was the caretaker. Now he's just like a butler serving drinks in like some weird like ghost purgatory or whatever the hell the hotel is now. So it's like, and what I thought it was is what Jack was saying earlier in the movie is like I've always been here. Like it's like I already knew. He's like, he even says it. It's like I even knew the layout of every other corner.
Well, no. Well, no. Grady's telling Jack that you've always been the caretaker here.
I know, and the very first thing that he says to his wife when he gets there is like, when it came to the interview, he's like, I felt as if this place was calling me, and he's like, he specifically says as if I've been here always, or I already knew every turn around every corner. Like that's literally what he says.
No, he doesn't. Does he?
Yes, he does, and that's the very first thing he says to his wife when he says
that.
Let's go back and review.
Yes,
I'm about to go. Yeah, guys, we're in the final credits, but we're gonna go back real quick.
That's I actually interrupted you guys when you were saying something else to say this exact point.
Go to that scene.
All right, yeah, let's pinpoint it here and tell us where we are.
While you do that, just give us a rating, Javier. What would you rate this?
I had a whole bunch more to say before I got to the rating.
Well, go.
While we're talking about it, location. Fun facts, I might have mentioned this earlier. The Timberline Lodge on Mount Hood in Oregon is where the exterior shots were filmed for the hotel. The actual exterior tracking shots were Glacier National Park in Montana. And the interior shots were all filmed at Elstree Studios in London. So despite being at the Overlook Hotel in Colorado, none of the movies shot in Colorado.
Yeah.
Funny.
The hotels were, you mentioned the hotels were modeled after other hotels.
Right, the rooms.
Including the Biltmore Hotel in Arizona, which was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. and the Ahwahnee Hotel in Yosemite.
What?
With the Native American themed room. That was the basis for the some of the bigger rooms.
All right.
So that was fun. He actually did a lot of work. He had actually put a helicopter camera on a helicopter to get the second unit to follow the shots. And fun fact, connection between Blade Runner and The Shining. You mentioned Joe Turkel, the actor, appeared in Blade Runner.
Right. So
apparently Ridley Scott used some outtakes of the helicopter tracking shots for the happy ending, quote unquote, for Blade Runner. The original theatrical release. So those I've only seen the happy ending once because that's an abomination of film. There's so many many better versions.
What for the Blade Runner ending?
Yeah, there's so many better versions of Blade Runner because apparently Ridley Scott is never finished with it. But there's like 5 cuts of it now.
So a month in.
But the point later, the point being the happy ending, he just borrowed some of these shots without the road and the Volkswagen, obviously, and overlaid those in for because he kind of had to do it on the hurry because the studio didn't like it. All right, so we're following Danny around track here. Get back, show me this dialogue.
Right, show us the dialogue.
So I don't know why you guys didn't believe me earlier, but
that
this is a month in. The first time that she makes him like a nice continental breakfast. In the scene, if you notice that the
volume up,
the scene is shot in reverse through the mirror as it opens as she delivers him breakfast, and it says in 1 month in, and this is the first time that they've established that they've been there for a while.
Yeah. All right.
And he's eating bacon and eggs.
Right.
She made him a nice breakfast in bed.
Still waiting for him to tell her, "Hey, I know this place. I've been here all around."
Yeah. So this is scene. I don't know why they want to test me on this. This is 37 minutes into the movie.
Okay.
And then she's like saying that she doesn't like it. She thinks it's scary. He fits right away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So he does tell her.
And he says it even in a spooky voice. Ooh, I said that earlier in the thing.
Yeah. Okay. So he does tell her.
And that's literally the first thing. One of the first things that he says to her when they're established themselves, settling into the hotel.
Right.
And then that was another point of mine I was making, is that how quickly his descent into madness is because of it is an adaptation of a book into a movie, so it has to move along, and the movie's long enough as it is, 2 hours and 20 minutes. And he doesn't start going super crazy until 44 minutes in.
So you're saying that he had been there in 1921, July 4th.
I feel like he is a reoccurring force or entity or person or something that
will always be back every so many decades.
That has been established within the hotel's lore, and then established even more for him being there and taking that job, and his son having such a strong connection to The Shining. The other dude has a strong connection to The Shining, which he's also brought to the hotel. He's there. They're connected. I don't know. I think it's all connected in
the other dude
evil
died.
Forces sense the way.
Halloran died.
In the movie, yes, but in the book, no.
Talking about the movie here.
Yeah, in the movie, yes, he's dead. Which what I thought was unknowingly he was going to help, but maybe he didn't realize he was going to die in order to save the kid and the mom.
I don't think he knew.
But he knew that something was going on. That's why he desperately tried to get there.
The kid called him. The kid called him to Shine. That's the only reason he went back.
Yeah.
Should have been a little more prepared.
Should have brought his own axe.
Yeah, should have his own axe.
Yeah.
Considering what happened beforehand and the old people that were there.
Or AR-15. Don't tell that guy, right? The candidate.
Yeah. Anyway, so reincarnation.
But
Jumbo says
that was my theory for the movie specifically, is that Jack's character is a reincarnated force that is being just called back.
So every so many decades he comes back and he's Jack all over again.
Yeah.
So reincarnation does
eventually works his way back into the hotel, so the hotel can take his life again.
Here's a good.
And it's not the hotel taking his kid's life and his mom's life as it did the other caretaker, because the caretaker it eventually did kill his wife and his family and himself. But in this one, the evil just takes Jack himself. He doesn't get his family
and the cook.
And the cook.
And Halloran, yeah. So it needs blood, though, every year.
Yeah.
Or every few years.
I don't know why this system continues to tell me that you have to sign in or restart
just patience. While you're doing that, I'll talk about the music for a little bit. Because the music's kind of interesting aspect to me. You notice it does a lot of the heavy lifting for the mood of the movie.
Half the movie is right damn bat, music, dude. Man.
Right. And the opening scene and the opening scene is iconic soundtrack.
So, well, let me tell you a little bit of this. The music, first of all, is typical Stanley Kubrick, which is he hired a musician to do the score, and then just like within 2001: A Space Odyssey, he junked most of it and went with classical music. Mm-hmm. So he went with music by Bela Bartok, Krzysztof Penderecki, and Georgi Ligeti, who are modern classical avant-garde composers. So you get a lot of the strings that sounds a little bit like Psycho or like that was Bela Bartok's composition, and then other little aspects that were in the movie were done by their modern composers. He just likes to do that. Mm-hmm. But the rest of the music, some of the electronic effects and stuff, were actually done by Wendy Carlos and Rachel Elkind. And Wendy Carlos had worked previously with Stanley Kubrick for A Clockwork Orange. She'd done a lot of the electronic versions of the classical music he used. And
dude, that movie was disturbing to me. I think I've only seen it once, and that was pretty freaky, man. I don't think I want to watch it again. I know it's Kubrick and everything, and it's a known classic, blah, blah. But it's still just kind of a distressing movie.
It is very disturbing. So, but a note on Wendy Carlos, who was actually born Walter Carlos.
What?
Underwent reassignment surgery in 1972.
In the 70s?
And revealed it publicly in an interview in Playboy in 1979.
In Playboy?
Yeah. No, not Playboy. She revealed it in a magazine interview in 1979. Just update the software, John. I don't know what you're doing.
I did. It continues.
It was famous for, among other things, besides the Clockwork Orange and Shining soundtracks, she also did... she won an Emmy, I believe, or a Grammy, I believe, for Switched on Bach, which was a...
Now, this was in the 70s that she announced the sex change stuff?
So this was one of the first figures to do it.
Dude, that is like old school. I imagine like the technology back then wasn't as good as like today.
She also did the music for Tron, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah. Anyway, but the point I was going to make, is a bad joke, is that the Wachowskis are, once again, just derivative.
The Wachowski sisters, the writers of The Matrix.
Yeah.
Who were the Wachowski brothers when The Matrix came out.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're girls now.
Okay.
And we already talked about the Steadicam with Gordon Brown.
All right, this PlayStation thing sucks.
Acknowledgements to the...
Sorry, what happened? What I missed?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, PlayStation is horrible. And John Daniels, everyone, PlayStation sucks.
You gotta stay signed in and stay updated.
Let me do that every single time I try and load
that's why you don't have to. If you stay in, you don't have to.
The update treadmill is no better on Xbox. I can tell you from experience.
Yes, it is.
No,
I got interference, guys. What's that interference?
Someone's touching a live wire somewhere.
Oh.
Anyway. Like AC/DC?
No.
Dun, 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 dun.
Apparently, yes.
All right. Well, I wanted to watch Dr. Sleep YouTube
trailer,
but this PlayStation is not working.
Well, something. We're just once again.
What were you saying, Jimmy? What happened?
So we're getting around to ratings. I was talking about music first, but I'm going to give this a solid 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, what the music? What happened with music?
Well,
we already went through that.
Yeah, you have to pay attention.
My bladder, sorry.
All right, what's your rating, Johnny Walker?
Do Jimmy first.
Are you not paying attention? He said 9.5.
Oh.
Solid 9.5 out of 10. The music, cinematography, the story, the incredible performances.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing production value, incredible technical brilliance that you can only get from someone like Kubrick. So, yeah, I'd give it a solid 9.5 all around. It's just one of those iconic pieces of cinema. It is like it's like the scariest movie with like the lowest body count, but it somehow works magically.
Mm-hmm.
The music.
Yeah. So that's over to you.
So yeah, I give it a 9.0. I would give it higher. I think it's just me seeing the movie so many times, just since I've been growing up. And the more I read about it, the more I hear about it, the more I learn about it, the more I research about it, the more I understand like where it is and where it comes from, where it is compared to just the books and the other adaptations that I've seen and liked. The 1997 one, which I actually do like Jack's just like fall into madness a lot more. Just way more believable in that one. But obviously it's a miniseries. It's easier to do. But yeah, just from the way Kubrick, just the way he handled everything, And like obviously the books and differences between movies that debate can be held up for forever for any book and movie adaptation for whatever. But considering like what it is and like what I learned about what he was trying to do with this movie, it is like straight up like I would give it higher. The only thing that I don't give it a 9.5 or 10 is because of just that Jack Nicholson is just how yeah, it is funny to me, like his performances now. Like what I took was scary earlier is just like it's just funny to me now, like the Jim Carrey comparisons that I notice and see, which is and honestly it is just me just like being finicky about it, but yeah, 9.0, solid horror masterpiece. Obviously Kubrick, genius, ahead of his time, like all time. I don't know about the moon landing shit, but I do know that he knows how to make a good movie. If anybody would fake the moon landing, I would believe it could be Kubrick. If that came out as reality, I'd be like, okay, fine, whatever. But
I told you he faked it on a soundstage on Mars.
Yeah, it's fine. Even more believable. But like, yeah, 9.0, solid, just horror masterpiece, music, cinematography. Adaptation wise, if you compare anything adapted into anything else, from a movie to a show, to a book to a show, from a movie to a book or a comic or anything like that,
Stephen King would say this is trash.
Well, because he wrote it and he knows what obviously he wrote the thing, he would want to see the thing how it was written, but he didn't, and that's why I understand. I 100% agree why he didn't agree with his adaptation of it, but I 100% agree on Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of the way his take on it, in a movie sense, because he's making a movie. He's not making a book, and he knew he was making a movie, and he made that fucking movie. And guess what? It was iconic as shit. And like all the iconic parts, like I was saying earlier, is like a lot of the iconic parts of him in the typewriter, like him. Here's Johnny, ad lib, like created like in the atmosphere cool. Within making the movie. Like that's what's remembered for. Not the parts that are remembered from the movie. The parts that are booked are not as widely remembered, like the iconic parts.
So you're at 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, yeah.
All right.
Love it.
All right.
Love it.
So John Daniels here. I also give it a 9 out of 10. But first, I want it to be noted that the moon landing was fake. And
no,
for all those people asking how and why, I ask you people how and why. Why haven't we been back there since? How many, 4 or 5 decades ago?
We have been.
It's so easy to do 50 years after the fact, I'm sure. But they didn't do it back then.
We have to keep
also
the wall.
Ask why and how there were shadows when there's no sun in space. And also ask why and how the flag was waving. The flag was waving in the background when there's no wind
have the bowl,
in
Bart?
space.
Why did I have the bowl?
The sun is the only thing that is in space. Because the only thing that you see is stars, and stars are suns.
What about the flag that was waving in the middle of nothing in space?
Yeah, whatever. Space dust.
Oh yeah, space dust.
It takes energy to create the force that
the force from the Force Awakens.
It was waving in the Martian atmosphere.
No, the force of the thing landing, the thing, and the engine.
The flag got there after
the
we
engine
landed,
roaring after the Apollo
landed.
Caused the interference with the flag.
All right, so
the engine was roaring. They left it on. They left the engine on when they were on there.
So let me just tell you: hashtag fake moon landing. Hashtag flag blowing during the fake shooting. Hashtag
Bruno Diaz completely disagrees.
Hashtag lighting was all fake. Hashtag Stanley Kubrick admits in this movie through subtlety, clues, and hints that he was part of this Apollo 11 shirt on the kid.
I don't like how the theory adds up in this movie.
237, I think there was 237,000 miles from wherever it was to the moon. Okay. And a number of other things like Javier had mentioned, there were screenshots where there were rockets in that typewriting room, the American flag, the interview portrayal of Stanley Kubrick being portrayed through Jack negotiating with Ullman. I can keep going, but let me get back to my original point. 9 out of 10. Yes, this movie is awesome. It's a must-own. Definitely check it out. I know it's old school for some of you folks who are more into the gory element of what would be considered the horror genre, but definitely this is an excellent horror / thriller / psychological mind play of a movie. So 9 out of 10, solid. And I'm actually looking very much forward to Dr. Sleep, which comes out November 2019.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Coming soon to a theater near you. And guys, we were actually going to watch the trailer here for Dr. Sleep, but because PlayStation sucks, hashtag PlayStation sucks.
Hashtag operator error.
We are not going to have probably enough time to
Problem
tune in.
exists between controller and chair.
Right. Everyone, Xbox One X rules.
Hashtag stay signed in.
That's why PS4 is outsold them 2-1, and the Wii is actually on track to surpass them by the end of next year.
Who? You mean Switch?
I mean, the Switch, yeah, my bad.
Wii? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. All right, guys. I
Dude,
think we're out of time because PlayStation sucks and the moon landing was fake. But please tune in for our review of Dr. Sleep and tune in next week. We'll give you a nice little release of whatever our next podcast is. I don't even know, guys, but we'll think of something.
Signing off.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Peace out.
See ya.